welcome to Shooting the Shit with Kinte. You like the title? That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
all right. So I am joined by my fellow. What should I call you guys? The Shit Brigade?
Oh, please don't.
The shit, the Shitatskis? You like that?
You're not making it any better.
Please don't.
No.
No, no, you don't like that. Okay, we'll figure out something. But all right. So I'm gonna start, ladies first. We have, of course, Jen. How you doing, Jen?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for inviting me. Could use a little light
Yes.
conversation.
We also have Tori Rush.
Hi.
How you doing, Tori?
I'm good. I'm good. I was just watching some Rick and Morty and eating tacos, so it's been a good night.
All right. It's always a great night for you, right?
Yeah, always.
All right. We also have Ryan Perez. What's up, Ryan Perez?
What's up? How are you guys doing? Or
E-
how are you folks doing?
Excellent. I'm
I'm
great.
good. I'm
You know
good.
what? I'm so good. It's ridiculous how good I am. I'm just
That's
gonna
good.
be honest. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm living the life. You have to forgive me. I'm sending out invites as well as the 30 seconds doesn't give you a lot of time to do it. But I'm trying to do it real quick. All right.
Ryan,
Yeah,
Ryan, can I say something? You
sure.
look you look as comfortable as I actually want to feel. So, hats
Yeah,
off.
it's
Hats
been a
off.
long week, so I was like, oh, I'm pooped.
Yeah.
Good to
Well,
see
You
your
know,
poop.
it's a good look. It's definitely a good look. Everybody
Okay.
should, if you can't see him, everybody should emulate this super chill, laid back kind of look. It's yeah, it's good.
and
Yeah.
also
I just want to
joining
know who we're
us,
talking about.
we're talking about Mr. Perez over here. And also joining us
Oh,
is Carlos.
oh wait, we're live already?
Yeah, we're live, man.
Yeah.
We went a little early. Just a little. We just started. I'm just calling this just shooting the shit because I
Oh my
can't think.
god! And Carlos, this is so amazing. Carlos, that's not a green screen. I assume that that's your house, right?
Oh no, this is my house.
That's amazing. Look at
No,
that.
it's
It's
it's,
gorgeous.
it's not my house.
Oh darn. Well, you could have just let me go on and on and on, and I would have
Oh,
been like, "Oh wow, look at that! That looks so awesome! Wow, who does
it would
your
have been very mean of
decorating?"
me. All right, hold on. I'll put on my headphones. There we go.
Give me one
So what's
second.
up?
So Monica's here as well. I got these two chat rooms going. Hold on a second.
There we go.
Hold on a second.
So what's up?
So Monica's here as well. I got these two chat rooms going. Hold on a second.
There we go.
Hold
Is
on
that
a second.
me? So what's up?
So
I'm echoing.
Yeah, now we're on loop.
Yeah, it wasn't muting. Hold on a second.
There we go.
Let me try it one more time.
I'm echoing.
There we go. All right, I got it. All right. So, all right. Now we're good. All right. So let me give real quick. Let me give a shout out to Robert in the chat. I see Andre's in the chat. I see also Monica and anybody else is here. Let me make sure. I want to give you guys a shout out.
On a Mac, do not swipe on your trackpad.
Oh,
Good
you know
advice.
what?
That's one to go on.
Oh, Renee's here as well. What's up, Renee? So,
Hi, Renee.
Hey, Renee.
all right. So, the reason why I brought you here is I've been away for since June, and
Where'd you go?
I didn't go anywhere necessarily,
Okay.
but I kind of went. I had to decompress. I had to reassess my life. I had to get some things together, and now I am free. I am here. I am ready to go back into this podcast community.
Oh,
So
is that what we are?
I'm re-coming out the podcasting, not
You,
closet.
You may want to rethink how you just said that.
Right.
I mean, just maybe.
So it's a coming out party. Well, congratulations. Um, and so it's a podcast about coming out. That's pretty
That's right.
cool.
Very bold of you. Yes.
Very brave. I agree.
I support this idea.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
We are in that world now.
No, I'm coming back. First of all, let me say something. Uh, I've had people think that, and I said this on a show I did a couple of weeks ago with Ryan. A lot of people have seen the weight loss and they thought maybe I was sick or something. Maybe that's why I was high. Like, no, I'm totally fine. It's on purpose.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
yeah. So I've made huge changes in my life. So
I actually volunteered to take all of Kinte's
Food.
pounds, and yeah, I so we've just sort of traded, and I mean I thought it was going to be great, but yeah, no, it didn't really turn out so good. So, but thanks, Kinte, you look awesome.
you can have, you can have. I got more for you too, by the way.
No, okay, yeah, no, enough is enough. Thanks, friend. Well, we're good.
Anybody
We're good.
that wants some of them, I got it for you right here. So no, and I like I said, I want to give a good shout out to Ryan because Ryan was definitely a inspiration as well, and definitely listen to that guy. He
Uh-oh.
knows some things.
So you're eating seaweed.
Not seaweed yet, but sea moss for sure.
Sea moss. That's right. That's right.
Sea moss is dope.
Sea moss is dope. It is dope.
Seaweed
It
is
is dope.
great. Seaweed
Yeah.
is awesome. If you live in Hawaii, you eat dried seaweed. It's awesome.
Well, you know, seaweed. I don't want to get too graphic, but seaweed is actually supposed to be uh, an aphrodisiac. It's supposed to help your junk. You know,
Mm.
Well, I don't have any junk, but I do love seaweed, so
so
I don't need more junk.
well, you Brian, you're West Indian. You probably heard that, right?
Well, sea moss does help your libido for sure.
Sea moss does too. Okay, I
Yeah.
just eat for sure. But
Yeah, all those minerals, it just helps with the blood flow and iron and whatnot. So it's gets rid of mucus, and mucus is what causes you know impotency. So
Monica, the Black
Mucus.
Diamond. What's up, Monica?
I'm good,
That's
you guys.
interesting.
How you guys doing?
Monica might be.
hey, Monica.
There you are.
Monica's been is one of the most happiest people I know, for sure. She's
Liar.
she always got a smile. She's here, man. How can I be that happy? You know,
Eat
I
more
want-
seaweed.
I think
She's
so.
she's the type of person that you can, like, her legs could be cut off, her arms could be cut off, and she'll still be smiling.
I know,
Oh,
right?
Wow.
Oh, so she's from a Monty Python skit? Monica, I didn't know. That's so cool.
Interesting,
Super
hey?
excited.
I was just, explaining how even in the deepest of wow, you're still okay. Never mind.
Thank you.
So
Go
I,
ahead,
I've,
Brian.
I have so much to talk about. There's been so much that's happened in this world. We won't get into politics like that, but I've had a lot of things that I've been thinking about. A lot of times I've been like, oh man, I should do a show about this, about whatever topic or whatever. And I've texted certain people in the middle of the night, just some random topic, and then they're like, "Why are you texting me that?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do a show about it." So I just text it to somebody, so because it's supposed to like remind me of doing it later or something like that. So
Mhm.
if you get a random text that might say something like, I don't know, cheese, whatever, it's probably me, trying to remember to do a show or something in the future or something like that. So I'm just trying to warn, get a weird text in the middle of the night for me. That's probably what it is. So, and I'm sorry for
Well,
everybody who's done that too.
Hey, listen, I actually would welcome a weird text from any basically guy, so that's cool.
Oh,
I'm good.
really?
Oh
No.
Well,
I mean, yes, but no, I better say no just for posterity.
yeah.
That's a great question. I asked the ladies. You guys do podcasts and you guys stream. You guys are constantly out there. So I imagine men see you. They may have seen you on podcasts, and you guys get hit up. Is that something that happens? You guys get hit up?
Yeah.
No,
Really?
never.
Really?
I mean, like
Never.
I imagine. So, Tori, you said that it happens. Like, is it like, oh, I like what you do, keep doing your thing, girl, or is it like, I want to
Oh my
meet you
god.
you know, at the I don't know, Four Seasons.
It's usually the other one. I don't know. People I get hit up on Facebook a lot. So I don't know if that's like necessarily the same thing that you're talking about, but
Yes.
okay. So yeah, I don't know. I ignore most of them, but it's funny that the game that they try to spit, I don't know. I don't know. I do have a different persona online than I do in person sometimes. I act a little differently whenever I know it's a meaningless conversation. If I don't want to meet them or I don't care, I just chit chat about bullshit.
Now, tell the truth, Ryan. I'll admit it. Tell the truth. You ain't never seen a girl on like some kind of social media and then got in the DM and shot your shot.
Sorry, say that again.
Have you ever seen a girl that you didn't know, but you saw her on social media or YouTube or something, and you just decided, you know what, I'm gonna shoot my shot with, see what happens.
You know what? There was one girl that I recently did that, and I never do it. She's from Jamaica, and she lives in my province, and she was hitting me up, and I didn't realize we were friends. I didn't even know we were friends on Facebook, but I guess TikTok algorithms, like she was looking at my content and she was talking, and I asked the question. I'm like, where are my sapiosexuals at? And it was just a video that I posted, and she's like, I don't know. And we were just talking, and then I just I just sent her a message, but she's married, unfortunately.
Isn't that always the case?
Darn.
Sorry, Brian. That's sad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, how? Wait, is she married? Married or is she married?
Yeah, she's married to a tall guy, and he's muscular and everything. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah. Stay away.
from Jamaica, so I was like, I can't compete. So
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people are married, but they're not really married. If you know what I mean.
yeah, no, I'm not a home wrecker.
Would you be really the homewrecker though? I mean, who knows? Maybe your affair with her might make her realize how good she has it at home.
So consider
What
it
is this?
therapy.
That was a crazy backwards insult. I mean, or compliment? I don't know.
I don't know why I stepped out. I don't know why I stepped out in you. I'm gonna feel it. Please take me
Yeah.
back. Oh, man. What about you,
Yeah.
Carlos? Well, I know Carlos, man. What? Don't take this as an insult, Carlos.
Aw. It's not gonna
But
go well.
no. Like a lot of women love them some Carlos. What is that? Like, like a lot of women be like, "What's the deal with your friend Carlos? Why do they like you so much? What is it? What do you think it is?"
Like who are you talking about? Because you're saying a lot of women.
I'm
What
sorry.
women are we talking about?
Are we talking about me?
Yeah, Carlos. Why do women like you like that? What is it?
I don't agree with you 100%. I mean, like even Monica and I remember like we were on a show together, and she was just like, "Rah, rah." And then there's others that like just want to argue with me. So I don't know if I agree with you 100%. Now we get along. We get along. I mean, I'm not saying we don't get along.
Oh yeah.
But
I got women. I'll ask about that all the time. They always want to know what's his deal.
so
Why did-
I think it's more of if you show up consistently, people just have.
Yes, Tammy.
Oh my God.
We want to know.
I think consistency is, because I was going live a lot. I was talking about a lot of random stuff. We talked about important things. We talked about fun things and stuff like that. So, especially during COVID, it was a time where people just wanted to hear a voice. A lot of us were home alone. A lot of us wanted at least to be able to hang out, but what happened? What was that?
Sexy as hell.
Who? Oh, geez, I just saw the comment. I'm like, I thought what I was saying was funny, and I'm like, I wasn't at the funny part yet.
I'm sorry. Oh, go on. I'm listening.
Anyway, so what I was going to say is basically the consistency of being there, people feeling kind of alone and isolated. So if you're showing up and allowing people to come on camera, kind of like what you're doing here, for example, I think there was a little bit of that, right? I don't think it was about let's say Carlos per se, other than that being the person that shows up. Oh my God. I got you, Tammy. I got you. But I think that's what it is. You know, if you sound relatively reasonable, especially we were in a time where everything was very political and there's a separation and hatred and stuff like that. And I was trying to keep everything kind of neutral. And I thought that was appealing, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Because I don't really ask that kind of question. Like, why do you find me attractive? It's not a question you kind of ask.
You have to say it in that voice too. So,
well, hello. I was gonna put it on.
I didn't mean it in a negative way, but I'm a straight male, so I don't know. You know, I just wanted to know what was the thing about Carlos that all the ladies.
Well, not only that, but you know, I was going through a divorce. I think I was very sensitive to the situation. And sometimes I was just kind of open about it on camera. And thank you, Tammy. Fine, it's whatever she says. It's none of what I said.
You have a fan, though. You have a fan.
Wait, what color exactly is your eyes?
Oh, well, according to today, they changed color. I put a post where my eyes are actually... Never mind. My eyes change color.
They're mood eyes.
They go from blue, green, gray, a little bit of orange and yellow, hazel at times.
Yeah. Do you find women getting lost in your eyes, Carlos?
Well, funny. I don't know many women in person now. In person, because ever since I moved back to New York, I work with a lot of men in the mortgage industry.
You find any men?
So nobody's getting lost in my eyes.
No.
At least not men, anyway.
That's funny. Hey man, hey, props to you, bro. Hey, use whatever you got, right, to get wherever you need to get to, Carlos. So if it works,
If you only knew.
You know what? Let me ask this question. Do you guys? I know you guys are gonna say the right thing to say, but do you treat people differently based on how good looking they are in a like do you like when you watch like a YouTube video and it's about something specific that you're trying to learn or something, you know how we get all of our information from YouTube, do you go if the person is hot, do you like pay attention more, does it matter, or you just want the information?
I just want the information.
I just want the information, yo.
I don't care if it's Tom, Dick, or Harry. Like,
Yeah, I'm a geek, so a lot of what I watch is guys talking about geeky stuff. There's not a lot of women being very geeky on YouTube. Not that there aren't any, but you know, not.
I'm about to change that. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Just as a side note, why are there so many like British kids with they all sound like Harry Potter? You notice that it's like a lot of British kids
On where?
on YouTube.
Their accent.
Oh, I don't notice. Nothing I watch is like that. So
I've noticed that quite a bit. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I pay attention a little more if she's hot. You know, like if it's a cooking with a cooking, thing. I'll be like, oh, it made me something I don't even want to make. I'm just like, you know, you I'm gonna be the only honest person of the
I
guys.
think I'm gonna go vegan.
I'll be like, oh man, But one thing I have to say though, if you're gonna do a cooking video, like you're gonna say I'm making some sort of cake or whatever it is, show the finished product first, then go into the video of because I want to see what's this shit gonna turn out first. If I even want to see the video of how you did it.
Yeah, but
So-
then you may lose the audience. See, that's the trap. They want you to watch all the way to the end so they can get all their ad dollars and all that type of stuff. They show in the
Exactly.
beginning, you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, half my audience just left.
But,
I guess it didn't look that good or something.
well, you know what? Only do a video if the shit is gonna look good. How about that?
Yeah, no. See, I mean, YouTube is probably the only area where I probably would not do that. Television, maybe, but YouTube, I mean, you're really trying to keep that. It's like Facebook. They you know how like in Facebook they automatically put ads right when they're about to announce what they're talking about.
Mhm.
Like they got you. They're like luring you in, and then all of a sudden, and here it is, and then cut advertisement, and you're like, I didn't get to see what it was. Now I got to wait 30 seconds, and then they show you. So it's a little bit of that mentality of I got to keep them going because it's the only way I make any money. Because ultimately that's what it is, right?
Uh-huh.
Most of my exes are not handsome. I am a saposexual.
Thank you.
Sapo in Spanish means frog. So,
I was
so she's
gonna
into
just say.
frogs. You're about to say
Hey.
that?
Yeah.
Frog sexual?
If you're unattractive guys, hit up Diana.
Well, I think it's pronounced saposexual, but
But
I could be wrong.
but if you were a frog, right, you could actually change. You could
Into a
change.
prince.
Yes, into
I
a man from a male.
that.
Because
I
some,
mean,
some,
I'm not gonna diss that.
yeah, some frogs are hermaphrodites, right? So they can go either way.
Hey, that's right. Oh my
Wow, we
gosh.
just went
Wow.
totally into.
We went to Magic World.
There's so many
This is great.
possibilities now. See, this is
My
why
mind just went to Jurassic Park.
this is why English is
You're
so
welcome.
awesome, right? English is so awesome because just one small misspelling, not even a misspelling, just sometimes the wrong word in the right place can mean mind-blowing things and nobody has any idea. You could be the smartest
Yeah.
person on the planet just because you put a typo in. It's great.
You know what I think is funny? When people are smart enough to turn anything almost sexual, but you have to be smart to kind of catch it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Only me.
He's
Uh-oh.
sexual innuendo.
Yes. But you're so serious. You're like, I don't know. No, I'm gonna tear up my room. Never mind. I mean, I used to have like this little tripod that people used. Like, I was doing a live, and I do tech stuff. I talk about software, hardware, and gear and stuff like that. And so I'm showing this tiny little tripod that when you close the legs, it looks phallic. There we go.
Like this.
Oh, I have to put my glasses on. Well, something like that. Something like
Okay.
that. A little bit more phallic than that. And so I'm showing it, and then the audience is like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "What's that about?" And I was just so blind about it. Greetings, and I agree. I don't see the finished product up front. I'll come back later and scroll to the end and see if I even want to watch.
Thank you, Steven. That's me. That's Steven.
Well, you're not a YouTuber. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
See, okay, that's the beauty of TikTok, though, right? Because beauty of TikTok is you get a really super limited amount of time to say whatever you're going to say, and you don't get to string things out like on YouTube.
I can't do TikTok. Just like I can't do Clubhouse.
Missing.
Well,
Oh
I
my
do
God.
because TikTok is on every other platform but itself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you ever notice
Well,
that? Like,
it-
you're
well,
on
it is-
Instagram, it's all TikToks.
But
You're on
wait, but
Facebook,
wait.
it's all TikToks.
But TikTok is TikTok, too. Like, yes, I see what you're saying, but,
Well, I guess
You don't
the
check
reason is
in?
because I'm afraid.
You don't check in every day to see if it's going to be a Bones Day or not? I mean,
A
really?
what's day?
You don't. Oh, my God.
Honestly, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
You know,
educate
okay,
us.
Oh wow.
okay,
Okay. I thought I was
so
the only one. I'm like, oh shit, I felt
okay,
stupid.
okay. There's this dog. His name is Noodles, and he has millions and millions of followers. And every day you check in to see if this pug is going to stand up or not stand up. Is it a Bones Day or is it a not Bones Day? And if it's a Bones Day, yay! Everybody go out and do
Oh,
awesome things. If it's not a
a
Bones Day,
bone.
hey, everybody hang out, do something chill, relax. I
That's
can't believe you don't know about this. Wow. I
I
mean,
don't.
I am not the most hip person. I am, definitely not that person, but even I know about that.
I know
Okay.
TikTok. I guess I need to start. That and Snapchat. I'm like, eh.
So my concern is I don't have like even being here today. Like I was telling Kinte, I'll try to be here today, because I get home late from work and I'm beat, I'm tired and stuff like that, and then sometimes I even do work at home. So to kind of just schedule something is a little tricky. Long story
Mhm.
short, I'm afraid that if I start 5 hours later, I'm like, wait, what just happened? Like you just wake up and you're like in a trance, and that happens in Clubhouse. That happens in a lot of different social medias. Like, that's why I don't go to Twitter, because I'm
Right.
just going to be like reading and reading and reading, and then all of a sudden time has gone by, and it's what happened in the early days of something called Blab.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Blab.
if anybody knows Blab, we used to be on Blab for like 20 hours a day.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was a
There were times people were sleeping on Blab, and you're
yeah.
Oh
like,
my
well,
god.
we'll be here when you wake up. It was kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
weird.
That's how
Yeah.
most of us know each other is from Blab.
That's true. Yeah, Blab was definitely an eye opener in terms of really accessing the attention and creating community, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah. We all have a fondness for Blab. Oh,
Yeah.
and just as some a side note, I want to say a couple of things. One is a big shout out to Anna. It was her birthday, I believe, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Anna, if you're out there, happy birthday. Uh, who's a great friend of us all and awesome person, supports everybody. And also, we have me, Jen, Josh, and Tori have a show called Horror Flicks and Chill, where we review horror movies, and also we do interviews. And tomorrow we have an interview at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, with Michael Smallwood, who is in the movie Halloween Kills that just came out. So
Cool.
Nice.
definitely, guys,
That's
check that
awesome.
out. It should
Don't
be.
you dare play
Now,
that
did you
clip,
know last
Kinte.
Halloween I did a series of episodes? Well, it was a series of videos where we interviewed all the classic horror actors.
Mhm.
Uh, Jason, uh, Michael Myers, even the guy who played Chucky, who was inside of the costume, who is now fairly old and he's on an oxygen tank and everything. And I don't think I can legally release those videos again, but it was a great series of just the classic actors who are now way older. And we were talking about all these now remakes or continuations of their stories that obviously they're just too old to be in. And we even had the first Jason, which was the
Oh, that's
kid.
awesome.
It was the kid that turned into Jason, and
Mhm.
it was Jason that turned into himself, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Um, but it was kind of cool to catch up to those kind of people, and they're not normal.
It's
Like
we're working on getting one of the Jasons on our show. So
they got biker beards. I mean, they're like, whoa.
yeah, that's funny though. Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, I like that, man. That's
I think the guy with the beard was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy.
mhm.
Oh, I want him.
Yeah, no, and trying to line up their schedules was pretty intense.
Oh wow. Well, because they got a
Yeah.
lot of killing to do. So
Yeah, it's a busy life.
this
Serious,
time, yeah. Oh man.
and it's labeled under COVID.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Right.
how do you do that? How do you kill somebody from 6 feet away? That's tough.
What with
Especially
Or
Jason?
with
just
a
cough
knife.
really hard.
Oh. Well, I was gonna suggest maybe that he borrow Jason's machete. That might work.
Suggest. I personally have never thought about killing somebody, but sure. Great.
Well, there's always the classic.
Like these mind frames. Jeez, got me off that one.
Let me ask the audience. Raise your hand if you. Well, you can raise your hand, Jen, but you could just say my hand is raised. If you guys, if you know, if you would consider yourself a good dancer.
A good
Hell yeah.
dancer?
Like now?
Yeah. Now.
I went to
Oh,
school and everything, so yes.
Oh wow. Okay. So.
wait, hold on. What kind of dancing?
I mean anything.
Everything.
Just.
Because I was a dancer, and then I became a dancer.
What do you mean?
And then I
Okay.
became a dancer.
He's going that way. Never mind. I didn't do that type of dancing. I did
Oh.
like professional and like in general and in my
Oh.
country real dancing. Yeah.
I mean, like if
Not that dancing.
you go to a club, you cut a rug.
I was talking about ballet. What are you talking about?
Oh, of course. Right.
if you go to a club, you can cut a rug. You know?
Oh no, that's what tequila is for.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
So just so everybody knows, you know how Kinte was saying, are you? Well, actually, I don't think it was here he was saying this, but are you the same person on air as you are normally? And honestly, I don't know what it is about being on podcasts that gives me the mental fortitude to say the things that I do. But honestly, if you met me in person, you'd go, "Wow, who is this person? You're so normal and boring." So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. I'm actually really
I can see.
boring.
I'm a quiet person. When I'm in groups, I'm the guy in the back. But no,
We're
I
the
can
people
kind of
watchers,
understand
right?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
But that's where I get my stories for being able to share.
Yes, 100%. As a writer, that's 100% what I draw all my experiences by living vicariously through the whole world around me that I see, and basically make up stories about all these great little interactions without having to do it myself. It's awesome.
I'm exactly the same in person. And I haven't met anybody in this panel yet. I think the person I've known the longest here is Tori, right? I've known you for a long time, Tori.
Like 7 years.
Probably even longer than that.
Yeah, at least 7.
Yeah.
We've never met in person.
No, I live in Virginia.
Oh,
No.
cool.
Yeah.
I
A lot of stuff happening in Virginia right now.
Yeah.
Elections and stuff.
Yeah. I just got my voters' rights restored. I have a couple felonies, and so they took my voters' rights, but then the governor pardoned me, and I can now vote again. So
I can one up you. I'm still behind jail in Facebook.
no.
Yeah.
No wonder you're
I got
using the green screen.
I got 30 days before I can actually go live on Facebook.
I've only been in Facebook jail once.
Oh, this is my third time, and I think each time they add another 30 days. So
Oh
this
my
time has been over 60 days of not being able to go live. It's probably my longest of not going live.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to remember. Oh wait, this is wait, is okay? Yeah, I was gonna say is that. I'm gonna try to remember how I met everybody. Okay,
Okay.
so
Do it.
I'm gonna start. Tori, I know how I met Tori. We were doing a Walking Dead podcast, and Tori had this huge group. What was the name of your group? I'm
The
sorry.
Infectious Walking Dead. Yeah.
The Infectious Walking-
Yeah.
And it was a huge group,
The
popular.
Infectious Walking Dead.
And I reached out to Tori and I said, I'm doing this podcast. Do you mind if we post, when we do our shows? And then we started having Tori on the show, and then me and Tori became friends. And then that's how I met Tori. Jen, I met because we used to do a show called Talking Black
Talking
Sales
Black Sales. Yeah.
about the show Black Sales.
Oh,
Not to be right. Everyone
sorry.
thinks talking about like black consumerism, but
No,
no,
pirates.
about pirates.
Super awesome pirates. That was
And
the best
I've been
show
singing
ever.
pirate music recently.
So I met Jen because of she was a member of that group, and then she came on with I can't remember the other lady. You guys would come on our podcast,
That's
and
right.
then what was her name? The other lady? Oh God,
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. I hope she's not watching because she might shoot me for not remembering. uh, and then okay, so then Robert I met through Carlos's stream, right? You were always in Carlos's stream, and that's how I met you. Carlos, I met on Blab. Carlos was always talking about technology and whatnot, and I would go into his thing, and I would bombard him with questions about technology, and he never acted like he was frustrated. He probably was, but it's all good. And but he was always cool. I'm saving Monica for last. I met Ryan.
Damn.
Well, it's kind of connected. To Ryan. It's kind of connected to
Okay.
It's
Ryan.
always best for last.
It's best for last. I was just going to say that.
I met Ryan on Blab, and I met Ryan, if I believe, in chat rooms right on Blab first, and then we started going on Blab together, talking, and then I realized, you know what, he's pretty cool, even though he's from Canada. And I'm just messing with you. But here's the thing: is I met Monica, I remember it. Monica would come on in the chat rooms in the room. No, she had her own room, and she was
Get vocal.
music. Yeah, no, was it? I thought it was a Blab. No,
No, get vocal.
Get vocal. Okay, and you were promoting music, right? It was something to do with music. You were doing interviews with musicians, right?
Actually, yeah.
And
Well, it was
That's cool.
artists, yeah.
you would come on all the time, and you were always really cool. And I remember guys would be hitting on you all the time, and you would
Crazy.
You
Oh,
would-
really?
she would deflect it like the
That's
Matrix.
crazy.
She was like Neo in the Matrix. She would just-
Like, still like that.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I remember I started talking to you one time, and I found out that we had a mutual friend in common, Ryan. And then I was like, I thought she knew him, like I knew him, like on here. And she's like, no, I know him. Like that's my homie from.
I know him.
Like, I know.
Like,
No,
I do
not
his
like
laundry.
far that I do his laundry.
I knew Monica for a little bit before I knew the connection between her and
That's
Ryan.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
and I wasn't creepy like those other guys, Monica. I wasn't.
No.
See, I was always solid.
I was
right?
creepy.
You do his laundry? No. No.
So
Yeah,
I
no, way back.
So
Yeah.
I had to think about it, like how I met everybody. So Robert is probably the newest, right? You wasn't on vocal, right? Not really. Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. But
Learned about that program from you.
oh, okay. So but Carlos was interesting because the whole technology.
Oh.
It was him and what's that other guy? Leland. Remember Leland?
Oh yeah. Leland Best, yes.
Yeah, Leland. I would always pick their brains about stuff all the time, and I'm always trying to get a leg up on everything. And so I would always and then there's Bobby. Whatever happened to Bobby? Is Bobby still around? Bobby Snap?
Bobby, he hangs out in more groups like this, but like more privately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bobby's he
I
might
see
be.
Bobby, but usually in those groups, and they're usually in other apps that
That's like-
allow you to do live, but they're not as big as like Facebook.
He challenges Monica in happiness. Like he's a happy dude. Like he's always super happy. So, but it's interesting though. You know how you know people for a while and then you almost forget. Like, how did I meet you in the first place? Like,
That's true.
you'd be like,
I
you know,
get that with Facebook friends. I'm like, why am I friends with you? Like, who are you?
Well, when COVID started, I felt the same way because I don't know how many people follow me, but it's a lot. And I don't know most of them, of course, like I'm sure most of us feel. And so during COVID, I'm like, you know what? Everybody that follows me is home now at this moment,
Mhm.
like at the same time. And so I started doing a show called Let's Get to Know Each Other Live.
Great show.
And it was just the open door of anybody who just follows me to just come on in, have a conversation, and finally actually kind of meet, even though not in person. And it was a roller coaster because we had people who were like suicidal, we had people who were depressed, but then we also had, well, we had movie stars, and we had, so we had a whole spectrum of people that just know me, follow me, whatever. And it just made it really interesting on a daily basis. We did it every day for about a couple months.
Yeah,
And
it was a
we'll
great
say again.
I missed that show. It was a great show.
Yeah, eventually I started working again, like in office, and that kind of pulled me away from being able to do it more. But I really enjoyed doing that. It was a little tiring, but there was no real agenda. It's not like you're preparing for a show. What's the conversation going to be about today? I just went live. People showed up, and we engaged in conversations that you normally probably wouldn't get into a conversation about. In terms of, it's something that would happen if you're in a bar and hanging out and chilling and meet new people, and that was cool. That was very cool.
You used to do another show called Latin Thought Makers.
So yeah, so that was with my business partner, Rick Nahara. So Rick, it's funny because I used to do shows where I interview celebrities, and Rick was a former executive at CBS. He was like a VP, and in LA, and I was heading a film festival in Georgia,
Mhm.
and so we met in an interview where I interviewed him for the first time. I'd never met him before, completely virtual, and now we're like close friends and business partners.
Great guy. Great guy.
So he was so fascinated at the technology that I was using to create a live show. Um, the fact that it was kind of almost TV produced, because that's what he does. He trained a lot of the comedians in Saturday Night Live and Matt TV and in Living Color and stuff like that. That's kind of, and then did a lot of sitcoms on CBS and other channels now. So he's been on Broadway. He's been, he's really well acclimated in the talents, and so that's why he's a great strategic partner. But we didn't grow our friendship because of that. We just grew our friendship because he was enjoying what I was doing. He was curious, and he was doing stuff in the Latin community because he's as white as he looks. He's Mexican, and so we were doing a show called Latin Thought Makers. Well, he's been doing it at
You know,
colleges. Yeah.
that title makes me laugh.
Why?
You know what the thought is?
Of THOT.
Yeah.
Come on, Kinte. That's terrible.
What kind of show is
Terrible.
Really.
Anyway, so he had philosophers, he had actors, and all that type of stuff on his show. And I was like, dude, COVID, you're not going to be able to do that. And what we ended up doing is doing it live. And so we did his Latin Thought Makers live, and it was cool. And what I would do is I would bring him on, Let's Get to Know Each Other live to test. And then we'd launch his show right after. So just help bring in some audience that way.
Yeah, it's a terrific show. I love the show quite a bit. And you always had great guests. You had like terrific guests on your show.
Oh yeah, we had some great guests. The same way I met him is the same way I met like Isai Morales, and Isai Morales came on to Let's Get to Know Each Other live,
Right? He was on
and
there.
he spent like 5 hours live with us. So it was really cool. But I think that's because he was stuck in Puerto Rico during COVID.
Wow, what a place to be stuck in. No.
Yeah, well, he got tired of it. But
I would be fine, totally fine in Puerto Rico, chilling.
No, you got to come to Hawaii first. You can't go to Puerto Rico first.
I've been to Puerto Rico. It's closer.
I think
It's
you
not
should just
closer to
welcome to
Kinte.
Uruguay.
Well,
Sure.
How do
It's
you
not closer to Kinte. Kinte's closer to Hawaii.
how do you say Hawaii properly?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. I can't even say it. Hawaii. Hawaii.
You close. Hawaii. Yeah,
Hawaii.
close.
Can you say it? Can
I
you
mean,
say it?
I'm a white girl, so I don't say I'm not speaking Polynesian. I don't do it great either. But I've been here for a really long time, so.
Well, I say knife.
Knife.
I actually do say knight, so that checks
Hey,
out.
that's how they mess up my name a lot of times. What? Uh,
It's
uh,
Kinte, right? Kinte?
yeah. They
Yeah,
kill.
that's
They
yeah.
my name gets butchered all the time. Uh,
I won't even spell out my actual name.
you
I
guys
mean,
are.
I'm Jen, but that's not my whole name is not Jen.
You
And
guys,
people do, unless you speak French, you don't know how to pronounce my name. So
you
yeah,
guys are
there's that.
fortunate because no one like butchers you guys' name. I don't think, right? Like,
Mm.
Are you
who's
talking
gonna
like murder?
like Robert, Carlos, Tori,
Oh.
Jen, Ryan,
Depends
Monica.
where you are. Depends
Well,
where you are.
Really? Because
Well,
You-
nobody's
I
ever
just
pronounced my name correctly.
I just changed my name in my profile. Do you see that?
Oh,
okay, well,
That
yeah. Let me take that
that's
back.
my name,
Let
right?
me take that back.
So nobody was getting my name right on the first day of
so you're
school.
Junessi.
That's what everybody says, but no, it rhymes with finesse. It's jeunesse.
Ooh, Jeunesse.
Jeunesse.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
Ooh,
like
it sounds like
that.
a perfume.
It is a skincare line actually now because it means
That sounds like
youth
rolling my
in
R's.
French. It means youth
Mm.
in French. So I'm actually like 85, but
Like
I
je ne sais pas.
way. Yeah, something like that, but not quite. But that's exactly how you pronounce it. Yes, that is
Ooh.
exactly.
Well, I like that name.
My
You know what I-
auntie is
I'd
Jeanette.
be
People
like,
read my name and call me Troy all the time, or Terry, or Corey.
Tori.
They're like, really?
Really?
Tory. Like, how hard is this?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Tori.
Oh, it's
that
okay.
sucks.
I worked at Radio Shack, and people would like read my name tag, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, Troy," and I'd be like,
oh God.
You know what I hate
Yeah.
is somebody who doesn't know you and they meet you and they want to give you a nickname.
yeah.
It's like I don't know you. Why would you give me a nickname? Like
That
no.
happens here all the time. Nobody calls you by your name sometimes. They just have
No,
a
I'm
nickname
like,
for you.
I say
Well-
if you can't say Kinte, come on.
Well, my name is Juan Carlos Phoenix Mark Jimenez. And so we just stick with
Mine-
Carlos.
Mine's
Or if
Mónica
we were to
Delia
turn it to
Cardoso
English,
Martinez.
if we turned it to English, is John Charles Phoenix Mark Jimenez. And I don't go by John Charles.
So your name is Juan?
Juan.
Juan.
One.
See?
One.
So I've been called 1, 2, 3. I've been called Juan. I've been
Aw.
called the Juan. I mean, yeah.
What kind of grade
It's
school
funny 'cause,
bullying is
like,
that?
It's funny because in English, they say to me Monica Delilah Cardozo. And it's Mónica Delia Cardoso Martinez.
I like Delilah.
You know, I have a friend named Monica, and I had this phone that would spell out the name. You know, it would sound
Oh,
out the
what's
name.
the...
So when she would call, it would say Manika.
Oh,
Yeah, that's exactly.
yes, you know, Alexa gets my name right because apparently Alexa speaks French, but Siri
Right.
does not get my name right. Siri butchers
Oh,
my
that's
name. It's
interesting.
terrible. Yeah, Siri apparently doesn't speak French very well,
Well,
so you know.
Siri just calls me the boss.
Just the boss.
Somebody just
Get
said
out
your
of
name.
here.
Well, that's
Siri
actually my
doesn't call me
nickname here.
anything.
Ryan, go and messes your name up, right?
We have all our stuff.
Yeah, they do.
We have all our stuff connected to Google Home. So like all the TVs and stuff are like, hey Google, play this, and it'll play whatever song you want it to, or movie or whatever. But you can get like different voices for it. And like one of them was this Australian woman. And we thought it was really cool. And then she would be always like, she would say garage, like really weird, and like other things really weird. So we changed it. But I mean, yeah, accents
Yes,
are cool.
my mom actually she changed my profile on her phone for Siri to spell my name phonetically because she couldn't, every time I would call it would really make my name sound ridiculous. So yeah.
Well, if I tell Alexa to turn off the lights, she does.
Oh wow.
That's the
That's true.
the smart thing.
Well, you
Turn
know,
off the light.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
There it goes.
But also the clapper does that too.
Oh, hold on. I got to smack my butt. Oh, there it goes. See, it works. Oh, you didn't hear it. I muted the mic. Yeah.
Clap on the clapper.
So if
You
you're
know,
all listening,
they used
to
Hold on.
this podcast, you should
I gotta
like raise the
squeeze.
volume,
They used to
and
speak
we'll
There it
all
goes.
give your Alexa some crazy commands. That could be a whole podcast by itself. Just listen to our podcast. We'll get your Alexa to do all kinds of crazy stuff for you.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. That's a
Right?
That's a
Hold
good
on.
idea.
I gotta squeeze my cheeks again.
Thanks, Tori.
There it goes. See? It just turns off the lights. That's crazy.
I had this idea. I had this idea for an app called Who Farted.
Alexa, turn on the light.
And
Oh,
what if it? You might be in a room and someone dealt one, and you don't know who it is. So what you do is you take a large group picture of everybody who's the suspect, and then the app will be able to tell you which one let out the fart. So
Oh my God.
This just goes to prove that the majority of our population actually never really matures past middle school.
would you want to know who dealt it? Come on. Come on, man.
I didn't say I didn't want to know. I just said none of us really make it past middle school.
And I
Just saying.
also had another one called the booty binocular. So if you do fart, you can just spray, and it dissipates right
It
away.
would just smell like banaka with booty.
Well, this one will be like a special blend where it would just get rid of the smell.
A blend.
A blend, like a fine red wine.
I just want to see that factory. Like, okay, we got to try it again. Who's gassy? Come here. We got to try this again.
For lunch, it's just cabbage in the workroom. That's
My
it.
God.
Everybody gets cabbage and beans. I'm sorry, that's what's on the menu, guys.
Just
The
scientists of the fortitude.
you would buy it. Come on, you definitely buy that booty binocular.
I feel I don't know if any of you guys are like this, but I feel like someplace there is a marketing company with my picture on the wall going, you know what, if she'll buy it, everybody will buy it. Because I swear, if something comes out even with a cute bunny on the package, even if I don't need it, I'm like, oh, I gotta have that. It's so adorable.
Kaya Lopez, what's up?
Hey, Kaya.
Hello, Kaya.
This feels like
Hi,
the Brady
Kaya.
Bunch.
Hey.
This is the hardest working woman
Hi.
in California. This is the one person.
Hello.
She's the one person on this panel I have met in person. So I was very fortunate.
Nice.
So what's up,
Okay.
Kaya?
Are you saying anything? Say hello.
I
Oh.
haven't said hello yet. I was
Oh, there you
waving hello because everybody else was talking.
Look, I got 10 fingers.
Yes. So how's everything, Kaya?
Looks weird.
How you doing, Kaya?
Good. Now that I figured out why there was an echo,
Oh,
I opened up Facebook first, saw you guys, sent you the question. So hearing you guys double time. Carlos, what a nice living room.
Yes, I was telling everybody how I made so much money by not being live online.
Right.
you missed a great conversation earlier.
Is that Robert R. Robert, the one that says Robert
Yes.
Old Dude?
You missed a great conversation earlier, Kaya. We had.
I was teaching class. I told you. I even invited.
No, what I'm saying is the conversation was we were trying to figure out why do ladies love Carlos Felix.
Right on that. I feel bad for Carlos because I think this is like a question that every show we have in general, like everybody asks them this.
I know.
He
Right?
should just
And it
come
makes
out
no
with the
sense to me.
truth.
What
He
if
should just be truthful and just be open about it. People wouldn't be asking.
Well, he's answered it like 100 times.
What's the answer?
you got like 18 answers? It was your eyes, your voice. What did they say? They said that
This is kind of like fangirl service, right? I mean, you have to give the fangirls a chance to express themselves. What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
That's
because I mean,
good.
because asking me, clearly I come up with the wrong answers.
Well, see,
The
but
most
look at all the stuff that you got in the chat, right? That's totally fangirl love. So, and guys. So, I mean, I'm not being gender at all. Everybody, it's fan love. So,
Yeah, man. I mean, even the guys, not me.
Well, I have a fan on.
We're like, no, man, that's a good thing. No, this is a good thing. I mean, what if it was why do people don't like Carlos? It's not that. It's why they love Carlos.
That'd be a more fun question, though.
Why people don't like Carlos?
That'd
Who
be more
does-
fun. That'd be
Who
like,
doesn't like Carlos?
well, because
I
he's
usually call him and tell him I don't like something he posted.
oh,
Oh,
oh, that is so interesting. So you call him and tell him that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
He's-
crazy. Most people would just engage in like a war on.
oh
yeah, that's
yeah. So she's
I
not
hate
like
you, I
that.
hate
She's not confrontational online, which is great.
Oh, we should do like
Others
That is so
others are. I
awesome.
get into some really crazy conversations
We-
online.
the
But,
next
yes.
the next show we're gonna do is the top 10 times Carlos pissed off people on Facebook with his
Oh
posts.
no.
I mean, I'm banned.
He's
so
banned.
I mean, I'm not always Mr. Nice Guy. I
Can
never
I get
claimed
in
to
on
be.
that? A lot of people think I'm an asshole too. So
So I haven't met Tori before, or is it Janice?
See, I'm going back to Jen.
We're about to say jeunesse. Is like the finesse? Is jeunesse.
I am
Well,
totally going back to Jen. It
That
is
was- that was
just
the whole-
Jen. It's fine. Jen is totally
But say
fine.
Jen.
You can just call me Car.
Jeunesse. It's jeunesse.
Yeah, call me.
Janice.
that was the whole joke earlier.
You need the little accent.
No,
It's-
it's
It,
jeunesse.
it's French, so there's no
Yeah.
accent mark. It's just
Like je ne sais pas.
Like my
Right.
my
Rhymes.
auntie's Jeanette.
rhymes with
But I-
finesse. So if you can say finesse, you can say
Finesse,
jeunesse.
Janice.
So
Okay.
Carlos,
Finest.
But she went back to Jen. Okay.
Carlos.
Well, I mean, what I really, really want, and I mean, I know that you guys will be upset if I do this, but this is what I really want. So
I'll call you princess. I
Or
have
just
no
say
problem
princess.
calling you princess.
thank you.
Wow.
That made me feel much better. Okay. Sorry, wasn't about me. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'll put mine as Big Dog. I mean, does that help?
I could be Hellcat. I can.
Oh my god.
Carlos,
Okay,
what is
I'm
it?
back.
Carlos, what do you call it? You call yourself the Stream Master or something like that?
Well, I don't call myself that. That's just the name of the business.
Oh,
He always has to clarify that. But see, to me, he just the moment I met him, he was a live streaming master.
yeah,
That's it.
some kind of dom, like you're like Stream Dom or something.
So
Oh, wow.
the reason I went after that name, there's another group of people which I'm a big fan of, called Live Streaming Pros, and I'm like, man, that's a freaking great name to have as a website, to have as a brand, and stuff like that. So I was like, shit, let me get online before somebody takes all these other great names. And Live Streaming Master was like the closest thing I thought, because I'm in that business, so it's part of one of my businesses, and the idea wasn't that to claim that I am, because I'm a person who's definitely not for believing that people are masters of anything. There's always the opportunity to learn. So the idea of the business is to make others into live streaming masters. So that's why.
Why do I see you in a business meeting telling everybody at the table to say my name?
Say my name.
Say it.
Wow, that's the other business.
Oh Jesus!
Say my name.
See, Ryan's is a little more humble. Brand Savant.
Oh, Ryan's one of those that as soon as he gets off the live, he's like, "Say my name."
I like that though, Brand Savant. That's nice. That rolls off pretty well.
That's like jeunesse.
Savant.
Savant.
I think you should just make everybody call you Janice from now on.
I would.
I like
but
the name.
reason that I changed it, I mean, on air, the reason that I put Jen in the first place is because so many people have such a hard time pronouncing it. I actually feel bad for them. Like I mean, I don't mean that in a I don't mean that in a terrible way. I mean, I actually honestly feel bad for people that are trying to communicate and get tripped up over my name. And so then we never even get to what it is that they want to talk about. So
You know what's funny about
that's
that?
why.
I had gone to Paris, not to say that I'm bragging or anything. I was a kid, and in
You were a
Paris,
teenager, not a kid. You were a young adult.
I was 19.
That's a
Young
young
adults.
I was
Yeah.
already stripping. I mean, anyway, so
I don't think
in
everybody knows
France,
that story yet. You love throwing that out there, don't you?
no, they know. So
Kinte's
so
gonna
the
play some special music.
Yeah.
in France, when I was using my little Berlitz book, I don't know if anybody knows what Berlitz is. They're little translation books,
Mhm.
and I would try to speak French in France,
Before
and they're like,
Siri, before Google, before Alexa.
yes, everything was still black and white.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm trying, and they're like, no, 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 please. We speak English. They did not want me to ruin the French language. And that's how
Okay.
Jen is. She's like, please do not ruin my name. Just call me Jen.
I swear it's not that pretentious.
Let me ask the group of this question. If you guys were on the run and you had to change your name to something else, what would your on the run name be? We'll start off with you, Tori. What would your on the run name be?
Veronica, because everybody calls me Veronica.
Veronica,
And
what?
they go,
First and last.
okay, Veronica San Diego.
Oh, where in the world is Veronica San Diego? This is great.
Wow.
Veronica Sergey. Okay.
She's the cousin.
Where in the world is?
What about
Carmen
you?
is my first cousin.
What would your on the run name be?
Who? Oh, yes.
Ryan. What would your on the run name be?
I don't know. Big head.
Big Head. Big Head. What?
Name.
No.
Not
Get out of
nickname.
here.
Name.
I don't know. Shoot, Jamal.
Jamal what? Jamal what?
Jamal Jackson.
Jamal Jackson. You're gonna move to like Sweden so you won't stand out.
Yeah, I'd be like, "What's up?
Jamal.
Put on a fake grill.
My name is Jamal. What's up?"
All right.
That's
What about
awesome.
you? What about you, Jen? What would your on the run name be?
Oh, I'm totally going with Loch Ness Monster, because then people can go, "Hey, have you seen the Loch Ness Monster?" And
Yeah, she's right
everybody
down
be
the
like,
block.
"Yeah, wow, okay."
Well,
Nobody would ever find me.
All right. What about you, Monica? What would your on the run name be?
I'd stick to Monica Black Diamond, period. Because my real name is Monica Benito. So
They're gonna find you though if you stick to
that's okay. They're already trying to find me. So at this point, it's all good.
All right. What about you, Kaya? What would your on the run name
I'd probably use my real name since it seems people. Okay, so told side story. 2 years ago, my son did something stupid in a video game, and the police was looking for me. The Seattle Police Department, and it took them almost 4 months to find me. So,
Oh,
it got all straightened out, needless to say. But I'd
40
either
years
stick
in
with
prison.
Kaya, or I'd go with my real name, which is Edith.
Oh,
That's a nice name.
no one will ever find that.
All right. I don't know.
Kidding.
I don't know if Robert. is-
There's no Edith that I know that's freaking all over the place on social media. The police was like, "What's this name from?" I'm like, "It's my spiritual name, dude. I'm in LA." Like, that's what happens out here in Cali.
okay. So, but is it that your name is like, this is really hard to find, or is it just the general incompetence of police departments that is the stick up there?
No, because so Kaya Lopez is, what do you call it? My pen name, surname. It's also my business name. So it's the name that I publicly use.
Okay.
The majority of my family now calls me Kaya. It took them about a little over a year to get used to it. Even my kids call me Kaya. But for me, it was like I never got called Edith growing up. I got called by my middle name. I don't know why Latino families do this, but my name is Edith Carolina. And my mom just never used Edith, and she would always call me Carolina. So for my whole life, I thought I was Carolina. that was it. And then when I started out filling college paperwork, I'm like, wait, who the hell is Edith? Right? So I don't think it was police incompetence. It's just that I don't appear anywhere online and I don't put a whole lot of stuff under my legal name. Most of it is in my business name. So they didn't know.
That's okay.
My name would be Ryan Phoenix.
Well, I have joked that I would change it to Kaya Phoenix, but Carlos didn't like it.
What?
Oh my god.
What?
Well, you never know.
All right, let me ask this: what if they were going to send Carlos to Colombia, and he had to get married, and he was like, "Can you marry me?" So they won't send me back to Colombia. Would you be nice enough
What
to
is
help him out?
What's
Oh,
funny
gosh.
is so Kinte tells me, "Oh, we're going to talk about technology today."
We are.
Yeah. Obviously not. Only you would,
So I'm
you would
like,
be
okay,
doing
I
that.
can get into a technology conversation.
Little did you know that it was the Jerry Springer show.
Literally.
Brother, I'm helping you out. I'm giving you options. I'm giving you options, okay?
It's Kinte Springer, okay?
That's his real name right there.
Be a good friend and marry your boy, so they won't send him back to Colombia.
Of course I would.
See, that's so sweet. See, so now you have.
Am I turning red?
Are you blushing? No, he's not blushing.
And because what nationality are you, Kaya?
Salvadoreña.
So don't they? The guys take the last name of their wife? Is that how it works?
Depends where you're from.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is where you're from? Is that what happens? So would he be Carlos Phoenix Lopez or something like that?
His last name isn't even Phoenix.
That's my middle name.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going.
We all just use all kinds of different names online, apparently.
We're just using Phoenix.
Oh, I've been doing this in way before online existed.
We're just using Phoenix for this exercise.
Okay.
So he'd be
For
Carlos
this exercise.
Lopez Phoenix or Phoenix Lopez, right?
If he took on my last name, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to be Carlos Lopez?
That's so Latin. Not that my name is not already so Latin.
Wow.
So hold on. No, I wasn't trying to insult. Don't get me wrong. So what's funny is he has not asked me what my name would have changed to.
Uh-huh.
So my name.
Oh yeah, I did. My bad.
No, it's okay. Hey.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't really used my first name like in 99% of my life. So I if I'm trying to hide from someone, I probably would use my first name. And then so we'll call it Juan Lopez. Okay. And then that way I'd be super Latin. I'd be like super duper Latin. And then I try to have like a Mexican accent, and I'll try to sound small, like, hey, I'm Mexican. My name is Juan Lopez.
Would that be interracial?
What?
Would that be interracial? Because you're Colombian and she's what are you again? Say it one more time.
I'm from El Salvador, Salvadoreña.
So would that be
Salvadoreña?
Is that interracial?
Interracial?
Yeah, because it's different kind of Spanish. So like if I got with a Jamaican woman, is that interracial?
No, that's called a miracle. Oh,
It's a miracle.
Wow.
Somebody left an empty chair. Tori was like gone before you said it.
I love you, Kinte. I'm just joking.
So I won't look like I'm making up shit. By the way, I got a new microphone.
Well, that's a very nice microphone. I want that.
Wow.
Because I don't have a really nice microphone. You do.
That's pretty sexy technology.
Yeah, that's a neat microphone.
Yeah. There's another one that they make, which is
the SM7B, which is a couple $100 more than that one.
Oh, look, all the
That's
nerdiness
the
popped up. They're like, ooh,
this is the tech talk I've been wanting to do.
Well, I was waiting for Kaya because she's a tech whiz too. So, but yeah, I'm very proud. I'm gonna use this probably.
So you're not even using it yet.
No, yeah, I just got it today. It just came in today.
It's nice.
I would have been like ripping that
Okay.
box open, setting it up before I even go live.
Yeah,
Me
well,
too.
saving it for the show tomorrow.
Like even my little setup here, I got my mixer hooked up to this microphone because otherwise it doesn't work. I got
Oh
my
my
little,
God, I called Carlos one day and he's setting up to record a video for his business.
a video. So I didn't do it. I did do a video.
Yeah.
What was that?
I have a
See,
new
never mind.
Yeah.
See,
so-
and he busted out with all his different pieces of technology that he uses to make a video. He was so geeking out and proud of himself, and I was just listening. It's like,
Yeah.
Now hold on. Now back to Kinte. So what webcam was that?
what? We were talking about you and your setup.
I'm not
Yeah.
here for me.
Your
I'm here for
setup's not
the
bad.
the conversation of tech.
it's
Yeah, we are.
So what brand is that? I can barely read the brand.
I can't. It's the. I forgot what these foods are called.
Kinte needs glasses.
I do. I really do. Like
And
all
I
the
got my
time,
glasses on.
I had 2020. I had
2020 in the
I had 2020. Now
Oh
I
yeah, me too.
don't know about it now, but yeah, I got this. I got this a while ago. I haven't set it up yet. I actually got it before my break. I've had this webcam and I haven't even set it up yet, so I know I suck. And you know what's so funny is I actually paid to have it shipped faster, but I haven't.
No.
6
So that's about a
months
waste of money.
later.
Oh no.
We're talking about a waste of money. It has like a remote to it and all of that kind of stuff. It's
Now remote to do what?
to I can like zoom in and all that kind of stuff.
What?
Yeah, it zooms in and there's a bunch
Oh,
of
nice.
cool features and stuff. And I have not even used it in. It's been
So
sitting
like
on my.
this?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you
So
You know what's sad?
this is what you'll be able to do.
Yeah. You know what's sad? I spend so much money on
I look
Amazon.
terrible.
On Amazon, like I have to go back so far to find when I bought this because it's pretty sad.
Do you ever? Oh God, I almost don't even want to say this, but do you ever, like, drink and shop on Amazon?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Oh my God, it's not funny.
For every
it's
dime that you
terrible.
spend, you have another shot.
let's just say
A week
Jeff
later,
Bezos-
there's like it's like Christmas, and you're like, what?
let's just
Where did
say
all
that
this stuff come from?
I funded Jeff Bezos's yacht.
You mean his spaceship?
Right. In the space.
Wow.
Like he needs
you,
to pay.
you paid for what's his name's ticket?
See, you know,
William Shatner.
he could totally boost sales so much if like every so many sales that you make, you get a little bit toward a space shuttle ride. Do you know how many people would just be like constantly purchasing on Amazon? I mean,
Does
What,
anybody
to like get a
Not
lottery
making
ticket type of thing?
marketing. No. Like you know how like when you purchase on Amazon, you can get like little incentives and little bonuses and stuff. Or maybe I'm the only one, but
You should
I get
do
like certain
that.
credits and stuff. And if you could buy stuff and then you could get a little bonus toward your shuttle ticket, oh my God, everybody would be buying on
does
Amazon like
anybody want to
crazy.
go to outer space though?
Carlos,
I
you should
do.
do that.
I do.
To
I
do
want
what?
to go to outer space. I also want to come back.
What to go to
Just model-
space?
Yeah.
No, because the setup that you have, you could definitely do that. You could like, this is what I have, but over here I have this. You could totally sell everything.
It's
Yeah.
Well, I
Next-
mean, if it was to go to space, like I don't think the ship would take off. I'm so fat. They'd be like,
Whatever.
You
we need an extra
exaggerate.
fuel tank.
You exaggerate.
We need more fuel. It's good. It's going. Come on, more fuel.
Now you're starting to sound like me. That's not even funny. Don't do that. That's my shtick. You're not supposed to take that away.
I'm sending.
I bet you I'm fatter than you.
You're
I
making
bet
me
that's
feel fat just talking
I
about it,
I
okay?
bet that's not a conversation I even want to have right now. That's not no. Let's go
You
back
know
to
what?
technology. That's awesome.
So,
I sent it to you. What
How
it
about
is?
those webcams? How about those
I sent you
webcams?
what the webcam is. But you know what's funny?
oh,
I think that Google Maps kind of fat shames you because like I'll be driving somewhere and then it'll come up and it'll say, "Oh, such and such donuts is right next door." I'm like, I didn't ask for that. I'm just trying to get to to wherever I'm going. Like it always will tell you all these
we'll
different,
help you gain an extra 40 pounds.
right, right. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't ask for that. Why are you giving me
You
that?
know, you know how like they talk about the algorithm for Facebook?
Mhm.
I think Google may be something similar. Let's
Mm.
make them fat first, and then we'll sell them all the gym equipment. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's kind of funny, but
No,
yeah,
actually, those algorithms are not funny. Talk. Okay, so real talk for 1 second. Tech. Oh God, this is going to be a terrible conversation, sort of. But okay, so if you like, as an example, if you go to look for a refrigerator, right, and you go to Lowe's and you are checking out refrigerators for the next 2 weeks, your whole feed is just nothing but refrigerators, right? Okay, so if you're a writer and you are researching something like whatever, even if it's something maybe a little risque, all of a sudden your feed is covered in those. That is so unfair. You
I
know.
cannot believe that Ladies Tampax shows up on my feed so much.
Well, what are
And
you shopping for?
so
Awkward
anyway,
silence.
I can't
Yeah,
believe that shows up on my
it's a
feed.
good question.
So
You
what
know, if
happened? What happened when you researched the cup, Carlos?
I will not be talking about a cup.
Oh no. Oh no.
oh
Oh
wow.
no! That little sound that they see on TikTok. Oh no! Oh no! Don't you hate
So
that? I
Yeah.
hate that thing.
for Halloween, I really wanted a really cute costume, and I got lost on this one site that basically sells. Oh God, it
TikTok
sells.
costumes.
No, it sells kids clothes,
Lingerie?
but for grown-ups, right? Little clothes they call them. And I thought they were cute, like for costumes. I thought, oh, these are so cute. So
Like
now my
role
entire
play kind of stuff?
yes, like
Oh,
role play
Okay.
okay.
kind of stuff. And so now all of my feeds are basically all BDSM material, cute clothes for adults to wear to dress up as kids, baby bottles. I'm like, no, wait a minute, I didn't ask for that. That's not what I'm looking for.
You know, I was going to say, like, based on those ads, if everyone goes to their browser and types in adsettings.google.com, it will tell you exactly what you like and who you are. It's a profile of who you are according to Google. You can turn it off so that you don't get tampons come showing up on your feed.
So
Oh,
just
nice.
porn.
Yeah.
Well, the porn
Yeah.
ones are okay. I don't mind those. Those are fine.
I get Manscape ads.
Oh,
Shave my balls. That's what the ads I get. I'm like,
That's what Google thinks you want.
yeah, but yeah.
Google's basically telling you,
Yeah.
dude, you really got to shave that down.
It's like hairy balls. Yes.
Oh,
For me, they get ball growth, hair plugs for men.
oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
oh, that was hilarious.
That
know
was
that.
that was a good technology tip, though. Thank you. That really
Yes,
was. We'll do that.
thank you for that
It is.
technology. So, I don't know. When you guys order stuff online, do you guys normally ask for the fastest shipment? Do you pay extra, even though you may not need it right away? Do you just because I do it?
Mm-mm.
I'm
Depends.
like if I order something, I want it as fast as possible, even though I may not use it for 6 months. But I gotta have it right away.
Well, I live in New York, so I can pretty much get it right away.
Mm.
Like I don't have like I barely ever order from Amazon.
You have little drones dropping your stuff off.
No, in other words, I don't have to go to Amazon to get it. A lot of people go to Amazon because, well, they don't have a store nearby that would even sell something like that.
Oh,
Me, I can just drive, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and I get it.
But see, I go to Amazon because I'm lazy.
I miss New York. I miss living there.
Where
I
are you
can't
at,
wait to get out.
Jen?
I'm in Hawaii.
Aw,
Oh, yeah,
how
I
can
miss
you,
Hawaii.
Be in Hawaii and be like, I miss New York.
It's weird. It's such a weird feeling, but there's something special about New York that is just. I'm not saying I'm moving. I'm not moving.
Oh yeah, the
not at
stench
all.
of the subway.
But
Just getting
There
robbed
was
in every
a lot
corner.
of traffic and a lot of people. It was overwhelming. It was a lot of extra sensory input when I was there.
Yes, yeah, and if you live there, you get used to that, and you sort of like block it out, and you don't you can go to Central Park and you can be fine in the middle of the park, and you don't even hear the traffic anymore.
Wait, did you go
But
to New
the
York?
moment that you have left and you are used to where I am, you get off of the plane, all you can do is it's overwhelming. You're right. You can
Wait a minute,
hear traffic everywhere.
Kaya, did you go to New York pre or post knowing Carlos?
I already knew him.
Oh, so you knew him when you went to New York?
Well, I mean, yeah, online.
Oh, okay. So, all right. I mean, did you see him when you were there?
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Just asking.
It's not. No, she avoided me completely. It was terrible. Oh my god.
So, why is Robert a cat?
Because he's saying, "Pay attention to me." Enough about Carlos. We are all here.
You know what? Thank you.
Trying to just have a conversation, and we're talking about Carlos all night.
I don't know what that's about. I want to talk
obsession. Crazy.
Brian, poor Brian. Aw, hi Brian. I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you?
Here, I'll turn off my camera. Go ahead. I'm still here. I just
Ryan, do you play the piano? Do you play the?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Can you play the Fifth Symphony?
No, I can't.
What about
Can you play the third?
Can you play the seventh?
Moonlight Sonata.
Moonlight Sonata. I can play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
So Carlos, let's talk about your love life again. So.
Oh my god. Wow.
Man, that's it. I love it. Wait, what's up with your setup, Tori? I see. Is that a computer in the back?
So that's Mac's computer back there.
Oh wow!
But I have a pretty I don't know if I want to move the webcam because I don't want to make it. But anyway, I have a laptop here. I have a dual monitor set up right now.
Cool.
So yeah,
he's quite the tech person now.
We all watch Tori, we all watch Shaky Cam. We're all good.
It's all. I mean, I'm sorry if you see my dogs fucking around in the background.
You got like 5 of them, 5 dogs.
I had to borrow this piano.
Just for the podcast, yeah.
So I get it.
So it's a rental. Did you go through that rental place? That's so awesome.
Yes, it's called Off the Back of the Truck.
Oh,
you were Juan. What? How you say it?
Juan Lopez.
I'm gonna change my name to Jesus.
Oh no.
Oh man. Oh man. So Monica, how's everything where you at?
Everything's good. I'm in Uruguay still. Because of COVID, it's actually better to stay here for a bit. Then I'll most likely be in LA and Mexico. So.
All right.
Yeah.
You'll be in now. Cool.
We're in Mexico.
Yeah. I'm thinking Española, New Mexico.
All right.
Nice.
It's nothing crazy, but I have a good friend over there.
I went to Jalisco a couple months ago. I want to go back.
Yeah, hey, it's nice.
I have been to Mexico. I would like to buy a place near Tulum, but I hear that the
Tulum.
prices are going up and too many Americans have gone. So,
Oh,
so I'm thinking about
oh,
Colombia, maybe buying a place
Oh,
there.
going home.
Technically,
wow.
I want to buy a place in Spain. So part of my
Mm.
strategy is I'm trying to get my Colombian passport, and
It's like catching me off guard again.
who is
Me.
you're
You're gonna
catching me?
get your passport from over there,
Yeah, so
like
because
residency.
because my parents are Colombian, I can have claim dual citizenship.
Yeah.
So I plan on getting my Colombian passport. Um,
Yeah.
Colombia has a great relationship with Spain, so if I was to go to Spain as an American, it would take I think 5+ or more years to be able to even be allowed to purchase property there. As a Colombian, 2 years. So I can get a pathway to Spain and then get a Spanish passport.
Could you see
But
yourself
that's
living?
if you get your European residency, though.
Correct, which only takes 2 years.
Okay, but that's nothing to do with Colombia passport.
It
That
does
has nothing to do.
because it's due to the relationship with Colombia. If I have a Colombian passport, I get my residency faster than if I just use my American passport.
Oh.
What?
Can you see
Yeah,
yourself
so I
living?
have family in Spain, and because they lived in Colombia, they just used their Colombian passport. And my friend Hugo, who was one of the closest friends here, he's doing the
Yeah.
exact same thing, and he also has a wife from Spain. So that's kind of part of how I learned a little bit of the strategy. So they're buying a retirement home over there, and so I'm like, sounds like a plan.
Can you see
Yeah.
yourself living in Colombia?
Do I see myself living in Colombia?
Yeah, can you see it?
It's just a lot right now. There's a lot of political turmoil.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And with
Crazy.
Venezuela as their neighbor, like I just had family here months ago during the summer, where uh, they lived in Venezuela and they had to escape to go into and escape to Colombia, and we still have
Yeah.
family in Venezuela, but it's hell there.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
And
It's really
what's
bad.
crazy is how much we were so close of becoming that here. So I'm just glad that we're not that close anymore. Um, but the stuff that they went through is insane. Like they were being hunted.
Hmm.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think like of all of you guys, where would I if I had to relocate to one of you guys' location?
Like
I
Of
in the
guess
course
United
you'd
in,
come
in the
to
United States.
Maui.
it'd probably be Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd come to Maui.
Now, isn't it
And
Don't
expensive?
also,
come to Virginia. Don't come to Virginia.
oh my gosh, it
Is,
is so expensive in Hawaii.
that's what I thought. How much
I
is
mean,
gas
it's
over there?
I think we're at, well, it depends.
Five.
If you go to Costco, you can still sort of get mainland prices, but most of the regular stations are like at 450. Pretty
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
So that's
But
kind of like California.
that's not even the worst. Gas is always expensive here. Obviously, we're an island, but the worst I think is like just regular staple goods like milk. If you don't buy it on sale, is $10.60 a gallon right now. So it's like
Whoa.
more expensive than gasoline.
And like children, you're drinking oat milk, rice milk, wheat milk.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll imagine it'd be
We
coconut milk.
we use oh yeah, that's us. We all live in Quonset huts too. It's great. We
So
wear
what's
hula skirts to kind of keep the cost of clothing down.
and,
That's
and
always
when you get off the plane, you get laid right away.
yeah. That's the other thing. The airports are just one giant orgy. It's
Holy
crazy.
Kente.
God.
Let's say that.
Well,
Holy
I thought that was
Kente.
LA, but
It's
damn.
like
They put a lay around you. Okay?
it's like one of those those mating balls, those big giant balls of snakes. It's like that at the airports now. It's just insane. Yeah, you gotta be
Okay,
careful.
so of all of us, who has probably the least exciting city? Would it be you, Ryan?
Modesto.
Modesto is between Modesto and
Yeah,
Calgary.
I would say Calgary is really boring.
You're
It's
in Canada? You're in Canada?
yeah, I'm in Canada.
Canada.
I love Canada.
Canada.
It's
Yeah.
probably between Modesto and I've been to Modesto. Sorry, Kai, I've been to Modesto before. I didn't. Let's just say I was glad when I left.
Canada's gorgeous though.
But it was before I knew you, so
It is gorgeous. I think where I live is gorgeous. We take really good care of the city and
Yeah.
clean air, no smog.
And there's so much film production going on up there. I mean,
yeah.
that's super exciting.
Oh,
Just
what's
the
Robert?
idea. There's
Robert's
so
a
many artists up there.
Canadian too, right, Robert?
The Robertson, Canada.
So we're in
Yeah.
Canada. Canada is Robert.
Toronto, or he's in
Oh, Toronto is like fun.
I'm in Toronto. Yes.
Yeah, Toronto's fun.
Now,
Toronto's
is Toronto close
Party
to me?
city. Party
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uruguay. I'm
Hey,
imagining.
you're gonna go visit Robert?
You know what?
I've never been to Canada, so I've never been to
Oh.
Niagara Falls,
Wow.
Oh.
and that's like
Oh no. Well,
Yeah,
come
Niagara
on,
Falls
it's
is an
9
hour and a
hours
half,
away. Are you in the city, Robert?
Yeah,
unless you're
Shepherd
in
and
the city.
Bathurst. Shepherd and Bathurst. Upper Midtown, North York.
So Uruguay probably is a lot of fun, right? I can
Uruguay's
imagine.
at the end of Brazil. Yeah. Amazing
Oh, yeah.
here. It's
And then
really the
in
only country that's living okay right now in South
Oh,
America.
and you're in.
Potential problem there.
Are you in Manhattan or Brooklyn?
I am in Queens. I try to avoid Manhattan as much as I can.
Oh,
Oh,
you're in
Queens.
Queens. Okay.
Well, still, if you're in New York City, Niagara Falls is a good. I went to go visit my dad a couple of years ago. He lives outside of Syracuse, or lived outside of Syracuse. He's gone now, but I drove from Syracuse to our cabin up in Lake George on Ticonderoga,
I've
or
been there.
Ticonderoga on Lake George. Love it. I have been going there
I got my
every
tattoo in Lake
summer
George.
since I was Ticonderoga is a little bit further. It's like up over the mountain from Lake George, so it's a little bit further. But it's at the very northern end of the lake. Anyway, I drove from Syracuse to Lake George. It was almost 400 miles. It took us the entire day. We left at like 5:30 in the morning. We got into Ticonderoga sometime around 4, 5, 6, something like that at night. So we drove for the entire day. And people, I think, really don't understand how huge New York is, in the same way that some people don't understand how huge Texas is. It's
Yes.
massive. So
It's massive.
I understand why you haven't been to Niagara Falls. I totally get it.
I mean, well, it's because I worked in the film industry here in New York, and I never had the time. Like, my summers were working, so I worked in film and commercials and music videos and all that type of jazz. So when I was young, my parents would go to Niagara Falls, my brother would go to Niagara Falls, and I was working. So I never really had like the summer vacation type stuff until way later when I got married and all that jazz. And I just never had the chance to go. My daughter, who is now 18, but when she was younger, we sent her to Niagara Falls. So everybody but me has been to Niagara Falls. But what's cool in New York State is that there's, I think, 9 different falls throughout the state.
Yeah, at
And
least.
and there's a tour where you can actually just go hit up the different falls. So it's cool.
Hey, Goldie.
Just so
Hello,
you know,
Goldie.
I actually went to college at State University of New Paltz, which is just
nice.
right up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I got. I loved that. It was so awesome.
I had applied to Binghamton. I've had friends up in Buffalo, and we've driven them there during the blizzards.
Oh God.
So New York is an interesting state.
Upstate New York is so rural. Well, not rural, but rural-esque. Like
It is. It's trees
big.
and hills and mountains and stuff. It's very different from New York City.
If you live
That's
in
where
upstate
I
New
wanted
York,
to go,
upstate New York,
but didn't get to.
Yeah, well, it's just a very different thing. It's
it is. It is.
and on top of that,
Saratoga Springs is lovely.
for New York,
Yes!
for a New Yorker, it's expensive because you have to pay to get out of New York.
Oh yeah.
And then
Yeah,
the-
I don't miss
and
toll
then all
roads.
the tolls and all that. Yeah.
I don't
That
miss toll
sucks.
roads at all. Although, I mean, listen, I live on Maui, so there's like really no place to toll. You can't. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to pay to go to what? The beach?
Well, I gotta pay a
No.
toll. I'll just swim around the island. Thank you. Never
Yeah,
mind.
really, no kidding. We were just telling one of the tourists that you could actually drive around the island in less than 2 hours. So
Wow.
yeah.
Now, Tori, you're in Virginia Beach.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I've been there.
It's exciting.
What do you mean by exciting? Like,
Is there a Costco? That's
Like if
Yeah.
somebody visited you,
no,
would you
because
have a lot
I'm
of places
saying
to go?
that there's a lot of tourist attractions because Virginia
Yeah.
Beach is actually like a pretty touristy town. So
Yeah.
like you got the ocean front, you got lots of stuff that the naval bases and the Wisconsin and all sorts of concert venues, and there's a lot to do around here. But I mean, it all costs money and stuff like that. So we have Busch Gardens.
No, wait a minute. When you're a woman and you got a man, it don't cost any money, right?
Don't start with this shit. Listen,
what's your man pay for all of that?
Yeah, well, I don't believe in that. I believe in partnership.
I do. I totally do. Listen, if you want to pay, I'm right there. Okay.
Wow.
See, all of this explains why I'm still single. This is exactly why, right? Saying all the wrong things. I get it.
But plus, when you're in your own country and like you see everything like a million times, it's like me. My house is like literally 2 blocks from the beach.
Oh, cool.
It's like I see it all the time. It's nice to go, but for someone that's from outside, it's like, and pictures and your house is there. You see the beach and blah blah blah. And it's kind of natural.
Yeah, it's like the ocean front. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's true.
To you guys, it would be interesting, but to me, I'm like, whatever. The aquarium.
Oh yeah.
What?
I live on an island, just like she does.
2 island dwellers. Are we going to boat you off your islands?
we go to the beach when tourists come. When we have to show other people around the island, that's when we go to the beach. But nobody has enough time to like go to the beach. Sometimes if it's a party or something,
You got to work your ass off to afford the place.
No kidding, right?
Ryan, so I come to Calgary. Where would you take me, like, to show me like where it's really, where we're gonna have a lot of fun,
You're asking the wrong person. You'd have to talk to Monica. Yeah, you need to talk to Monica.
I talked to this person in Uruguay about Canada.
No, she.
Oh yeah, I grew up there.
I was
born there.
Raised here. So when you were here last time, you were out.
Everywhere.
You went out more than I ever did, and I think I don't know. No one goes anywhere because we're on lockdown and we have like vaccine passports.
Yeah, no.
I would take you to Banff. I would take you to like the mountains.
Yeah, Canmore, Banff. Because we're in the middle of British Columbia and Alberta, and we're the ones that have the Rocky Mountains. We share them, right? So that's the beauty of our province. And a lot of the best Olympians that are for the Winter Olympics, they all train in Calgary because we have the best mountains and everything. So
it's so cold.
A lot of people like to see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what though? It depends. It depends because if you go up there and it's dry, it's not humid. It's not like here. We say it's winter and -2, we're dying because of the humidity. There it's dry. So you don't really you feel it, but it's not as crazy as if you're like in a place like BC that it's always raining. You feel the cold more because your skin is already it's humid, right? So it goes to your bones. But
that
it really
makes sense.
depends.
All right, so let's say there's no COVID, and all of us showed up on a bus in Modesto.
Oh, I'd be in LA right now.
Where are you going? Where are you thinking this? We all showed up. All of us. No COVID.
Oh, LA, New York. Oof, I'd be everywhere right now. But I can't.
So we want to have a great time. We want to have a great time. So Carlos is like, show me some fun. Ryan is like, I didn't come out here to go to sleep.
I would teach you guys.
I want to turn up.
Let's all meet up somewhere, LA.
So,
I'd go to LA.
So we're all in Modesto. We're all in Modesto. So Kaya, it's all on you. Show us a good time.
Jesus, you're talking about Modesto doesn't have a whole lot going on. I've told you this. You want to go see some cows? You want to go tip some cows? The cornfields?
Well, I thought that was Georgia, but damn.
I want to see some cows. You know how expensive milk is here? Go get, let's go get some.
You can't no,
Just like, yes, let's get
You got a
some
point.
cows.
Like, yeah. Can I just bite into one, please?
I've been
No, but you know what's nice about, I do have to say what's nice about Modesto, it's central enough to pretty much everything. Like I'm an hour and a half from the beach, an hour and a half from the mountains. Like it just kind of depends on what direction you want to go in. There's a lot to do around here, just not necessarily right in the city. But I've found my little places that for me feel like home. Like I like going to the art studio. There's 4 art studios here in town, but one of them is kid friendly. So I like going there.
One of them.
One of them, one of the 4 is
Wow.
kid friendly. All the other ones are uppity.
Oh, uppity. I thought they're like naked people and stuff.
Oh no,
Okay.
no uppity. The Latino community up here has definitely like stepped up. This year there was a lot of shows that were going on for Dia de los Muertos that just passed. So there's a lot of like community type stuff that happens in Modesto that I was surprised when I moved here.
happy
So.
birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Yep. You gave you a birthday shout out earlier, Anna.
So it depends on what you guys want to go do.
Yeah. I can see
I'd
Carlos.
probably go to the mountains.
I can see Carlos and Ron
Yosemite is the closest. Is going to be the
Oh,
closest.
nice.
entertain us.
Yeah, and we're not
So-
that far from Reno.
Okay.
And Tori, I know Tori's gonna. If we all showed up in Virginia Beach, she's gonna show us the time of our life.
Heck yeah, I will.
A lot of drinking.
Oh, I mean, can you keep up?
Carlos doesn't even
I don't drink.
drink.
No, I know that my godfather lives in Virginia Beach.
Okay.
I've been to Virginia Beach. I get that it's like, it's almost like a different type of Miami. in terms
Yeah.
of, you're just gonna go to drink
Mm-hmm. Yep.
in a bathing suit.
In a bathing suit.
Robert and his little faces are like catching my eye, and I'm
He keeps switching them. You know, one thing I can say about Modesto is there's a lot of breweries that have opened that are like local type breweries that make their own beers and stuff. Not that I'm a beer person, but I know that tends to be like a thing people come to do here in Modesto.
Here, there's just a little bit of everything. There's the museums. There's the galleries.
They're kind of hidden, no?
Hidden?
The galleries?
Yeah. Like,
Oh
there's so
no,
many
just
places
Soho
there.
alone. It's got like, I don't know, a few hundred galleries.
Yeah.
They're all over there. They're
Yeah.
everywhere. You turn around, there's galleries. Oh, gallery. Oh, another gallery. God, so many
Yeah.
artists.
Do you drink, Ryan?
No, I don't.
All right, so me and Ryan would have a great time.
So if you guys all come to Maui, right? We can go to the beach one day. That's perfect.
That's it.
But that's about it, right? If there
It's
is
like I give you
nothing,
one day.
there is nothing happening here after like 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I swear the whole island just sort of shuts down. So what I would suggest is we can do an entire year of podcasts for horror and chill by watching horror movies at my house. I
Okay.
like, this is the
Like
best
that.
I've got to offer.
We
It's all
can do
good.
that.
I'm down for movies.
I don't do scary movies.
No?
Well, okay. So you don't have to watch. We'll just tell you what's going on.
We'll just blindfold
Just
you.
drink.
Put some earplugs.
You're like, just keep drinking. Just keep drinking. It'll be funny eventually. I actually had my kids watch Gremlins for the first time. They're now 13, 14, and 21. But I was surprised that even my eldest, I had never watched Gremlins with her. And I was like, you know what? We're watching Gremlins. They laughed the whole time. I was like, I was terrified of this movie when I was a kid.
Wow.
And there were a couple moments I screamed. They think it's more entertaining to watch me watch a scary movie than to watch the movie. So
I got kicked out of a theater seeing Gremlins 2 because me and my friend snuck in, and it's so funny because they caught us sneaking in, and then they pulled us in the little room, And then it was a little Spanish lady, and she was like, I should call the police on your sorry asses. If I ever see you here again, I'm gonna put you, throwing you in jail. We were all like scared. And shit.
But instead, she gave you a container, and inside
Oh no.
was a gizmo.
Oh gosh.
Don't feed it after midnight.
You want to hear what's funny though? A couple of years later, I ended up working at the theater with that lady, and I didn't realize I'd forgotten about it.
She
And then-
remembered.
And then and then one day I realized. I said, "Wait a minute,
You scolded me.
yeah." And she said, "Was I fucking hard on you?" I was like,
I'm
"Yeah,
sorry.
shit out of me." And she said, "Good." So yeah, she was cool.
Well, my
Cool.
candle's burning out a little bit. In New York, if you're here in the summer, there's beaches.
You don't really have a candle burning. Are you talking about being tired?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Since I'm over here sniffing oils, I want to believe that you have a candle, but then I realize it's you. So continue.
Well, for
You're
your
tired.
information,
Okay, old man.
candle,
Not lit.
candle.
Oh, wow.
Oh wait, there's more.
A side of Carlos I didn't know.
I'm not even like leaving the camera area. Candle.
But the,
Let
but
me
the
guess.
question is, what's the scent?
Oh,
Of a woman.
but
Oh, okay.
Blackberries and basil. That seems
a
like
good
a
one.
weird combination, though.
oh, so now you're gonna blame me because I like the
Oh
smell.
no, that sounds great. Blackberries and
Basil?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Leaves?
down for that one. Leaves.
Yes.
Yeah, his bats. That's right.
And what? Oh, this one was. I mean, and obviously I've used it.
The only one.
I know.
Well, I'm not gonna burn them all at the same time. You'd be like smelling like leaves that are basil. This one I don't know what the smell was. What? Oh.
I would go for like.
It
like
was.
Oh.
It was apple cinnamon.
Oh.
It was Christmassy.
Oh.
I'm trying to play guess the candle.
Have you done?
Oh, cinnamon.
See,
Have
apple
you done,
cinnamon.
No,
Carlos, have you
not
done-
okay.
That's
Carlos,
not
have you
okay.
done- Carlos, have you done your Christmas shopping yet?
No. No.
If you're gonna order on Wish, you better do it now, right?
I'm gonna order on who?
Wish.com.
If you order on
Wish.
Wish, it's
Wish.
going to come in 2 years. So I suggest
Oh, I don't
you
trust Wish for squat.
plan for Christmas 2024.
I don't
I'm
trust Wish.
halfway done. I am halfway done with my Christmas shopping. But you got to understand, I live in Hawaii. I
Oh.
know that things take forever to get here, and I don't wait until even December to make those plans because I would never be able to organize anything. It's terrible. I don't mean that in it. I'm sorry.
So my
I love
understanding
living in
is that if
Hawaii,
you
but,
look out at
you
in the ocean, the Pacific, you should see hundreds of ships with containers. No.
Yes, in fact, there's a great meme that has all the surfers in the water, and they're like lining up for Black Friday, and all the shipping containers are in the background.
Oh, so what I was saying in New York, in the summer beaches, there's plenty of little towns, beautiful, like kind of ocean-based towns to kind of chill and hanging out with restaurants. New York has one really powerful thing for itself. As much as I hate New York, that if you were to have a meal 3 times a day, lunch, breakfast, and dinner, from the day you were born to the day you die, you would not have visited all the restaurants in New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, now I don't know because, COVID, a lot of restaurants closed down, that type of thing. But there's a big resurgence. There's a lot of new restaurants that have popped up and stuff like that. Then there's, like I said, there's the artistic aspect. There's the music. Like you have Madison Square Garden. You have a ton of we used to have CBGBs, which was great. Tons of clubs. So yeah, there's a lot. I did it all. Not that I did it all. It's just I'm burnt.
New York is the only place other than New Orleans that I have been to that I have actually been to a speakeasy. I'm using that term sort of loosely, but honestly, New York has such interesting little hole in the wall places where
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing on the outside, and you walk in, and it's like, holy
That's why I said.
smokes,
That's why I
the
said hidden
Matrix
before.
opens.
'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's like what Walt Disney wishes it could interpret.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what? That is
Well
100%
said.
right on. Yes.
You know, like we have like there's an alleyway in Chinatown. It's just a dingy alleyway, and it stinks. And there are these like doors and a hanging sign that's like looks like it's 100 years old, or maybe 200 years old, and it just shows a little beacon, like a science laboratory beacon. And you go inside, you have to pull the door open. It's not easy to open. In fact, you wouldn't even know that it's open or a business. But we know, so we go in. We pull. There's curtains that block the entrance of the door, so you have to pull the curtains apart. And inside, it looks like a cave with laboratory beacons everywhere. Like it's old classic Frankenstein science laboratory.
Is that apothecary? Or apothic? I think I've been there.
Maybe. And then none of the alcoholic, it's a bar. None of the alcoholic drinks are like typical alcoholic drinks. It's got drinks with cilantro and like hot spice.
Feels
did
kind
Kaya
of
disappear? She
steampunky.
disappeared. Very, very, very. And all the bartenders have lab coats, and none of the drinks taste good. But you go there just because it's completely out of the norm and different.
Yep.
I used to go to clubs where Clive Barker was the host, and
Ooh.
it was the creepiest crap. You have a stage where people are like slicing their arms open and just bleeding into like pots, and you're like blown away, like you don't know if it's real or not. It's just some crazy stuff that was happening. And those were the kind of things we attend.
Yeah, there's a reason that people are so magnetically drawn toward New York, and it has so much to do with the different kinds of energies that you get there. It's not even just borough to borough. It feels different from Brooklyn to Manhattan. It's a totally different experience. And then the places that you go within each one of those is also really different. Clubs and bars in Manhattan, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, they always feel a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, sterile? They just feel different. Everything in Brooklyn, Queens has so much of a different flavor to it. Then you go to Staten Island and it's, whatever. What we do in the shadows territory.
Yeah, I mean Brooklyn is definitely a different character now. New York, they're building the edge of not New York, Queens. The edge that's facing Manhattan, they're building it into a different, newer Manhattan. So the skyscrapers on Queens now. It's unrecognizable. I left for 20 years. I lived in Atlanta for 20 years and then came back and hated everything. It just wasn't my home anymore.
Atlanta's about to be lit.
Yeah. Atlanta has been growing like crazy. I lived in a town that had like one gas station, and now it has multiple hospitals, malls, I mean, all sorts of stuff. So we're losing people.
Is that really a bad thing, though? Is that actually a bad thing, do you think?
What?
That New York is losing people.
Not as losing people. It's just that so right now in the town that I live in was very eclectic. It had Italians and Greeks and Latinos, and it was very mixed. Now it's just a Korean town. All the stores are gone. All the people that we knew were gone. Everything that made it the town that it was. I mean, if you ever seen the band Kiss, they're literally from like 3 blocks away. They would never have existed if it was the town that it is now.
Right.
Very nothing's in English. I mean, I can't walk and think that I'm in my own town.
Is that your kind of music, Kiss?
No. I mean, I like Kiss, but I mean that wasn't necessarily like my only kind of music. I like a lot of stuff.
Anna, happy birthday!
Hey,
Hey,
Happy
what's going on, Anna?
birthday.
thanks so much. 52. Woo!
Oh wow,
Hey.
Man.
that's right. You're beating me.
I am. About a year.
Yeah.
Right, Anna.
Oh, let's not all talk about how old we are. That is like I'm leaving if that's what we're doing.
No, I just
36.
I wanted to present a positive attitude at growing older because logistically I could, I could last another 40 years. So I'm like at a good place. Like I'm kind of coming into my own, and the kids are almost grown now, and marriage is going good. Husband just got hired at a job finally, and
Okay.
so it's good.
Good.
Yeah. So you don't have to reveal your age or nothing. We will not pressure you that
I'm
way.
old.
We're
It
not-
sucks. Everything hurts.
I'm sorry.
I'm done.
I turned 36 in September,
Oh wow.
and I don't feel
All right,
36.
child.
at all. I don't feel
Yeah,
36 though.
Oh my gosh, so now I'm feeling really old. Okay, I'm just not, wow. I'm not ready for this. But I mean, we were talking earlier before we even came on air that I have 3 kids who I raised, as single parent, and it kind of ages you a lot. But they are mostly, except for one, moved out of the house now. So I had kids when I was really young. And now I'm sort of at the phase in life where, okay, my kids are moving out. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. And it's daunting. It's absolutely daunting. So when I see people who are sort of going through stuff in the middle, I sort of jealously wish that was where I was, because I feel like that's where my sort of energy is. Like, if only I could go back and be in my 30s again.
So you
I'd be
feel
so
like
much happier.
your age paused while you were living grown-up life, and now that they're gone, you want to unpause it.
Yeah, it's real difficult when 24/7 you're dealing with just the needs of a bunch of kids. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love my kids. I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't change that for anything. But you sort of have to, especially if you're doing it all by yourself. So that piece, it was great, but now I'm on the other side of it, and it is definitely a different experience to be here. And I identify more with people who are sort of more who are doing things like they would in their late 30s. That's sort of where I feel like, if I hadn't had kids, that's where I'd be.
Well, they do have an old people nightclub.
That is okay. I got a walker. I can go. Is Kate?
Yeah,
No, I won't make the joke I was gonna make. I'll stop.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to get kicked off the show.
There's nothing that would get you kicked off.
Not with Kinte, no.
No.
I like the masking stuff. I love it. So you got I see Kaya, you got a nice whiteboard right there. Is that your business strategy stuff?
It's questions I'm asking myself as I'm getting ready to focus more on my coaching people who want to learn neuro-linguistic programming, or people that want to become life coaches. So I'm asking myself, what phases do they go through? Like where is it that they get stuck?
I feel like if you're an entrepreneur, you got to have that whiteboard.
You do. Brainstorm. I love whiteboards. I think I did a live stream all around freaking stickies, highlighters, and whiteboards one time. You can never have enough stickies.
There we go.
I concur. You can never have it.
I am paperless, so no.
My whiteboard's hiding.
I love
My
whiteboard,
whiteboard.
but I also love stickies. I'm very much a post-it person.
Well, I don't mind stickies, but it's not going to have anything written on it. I just wear them.
Oh, hey, that's cool. I like
So
that.
instead of clothes, you wear stickies.
It's possible.
Possible.
I
You
hope
light
he's
up.
really
You light up your. I have this image in my head of him lighting up his candles and putting on the stickies.
And then all of a
entirely
sudden, woof.
flammable.
Yes.
Listen.
Thank
Don't sweat. Don't sweat, because that's really embarrassing.
Carlos, is that how you set the mood on the Netflix and chill date?
You know, it was so funny. At one point when I was hanging out with Carlos, he's like, we haven't even gotten to watch a movie or anything because that was just not what I was into. I wanted to walk around and do stuff. So,
Aw.
Yeah. Aww.
so no Netflix and chill.
Wait, going back to New York, I gotta say this one thing. You know what I miss about New York so much? It has nothing to do with food, it has nothing to do with art
The
galleries,
half-naked people?
museums. Oh, well, yeah,
In
that
summer.
is always fun. That's great. No, you know what I really miss about New York? I miss the bookstores.
Aww.
The bookstores in New York are so phenomenal. Just everything that you can and then there's niche bookstores. Oh my, I'm such a nerdy geek about that stuff. I love it.
So many of them are gone.
Jen, you and I could still hang out.
Yeah, do you love bookstores too?
You know,
that's the way to ingratiate yourself into my
I
heart.
said-
Take me to a bookstore.
If the book is not on tape now, I don't read it no more. I know it sucks.
Oh,
You don't,
So you
wow, I have
need-
such
you
a
need-
hard
you don't
copy
read
girl.
an audiobook. I'm not dissing anybody that listens to audio, but that's not reading. That's listening. And I appreciate it, and I'm glad that people
I feel
do that
weird
too,
though.
but that's
Because somebody would be
not
like, "Have you read such and such?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I read." Well, I listened.
I think your reading counts, though. I think
It was great though.
All right, look,
listening.
I'm not gonna knock it because you learn the same shit.
Right.
So I like to go be a little extra because I like to listen to a book, but then I go back through it, reading it, and like marking shit afterwards.
Oh gosh, I mark my books so hard.
Damn. She'd be like,
See, this
That
is
was
the kind of
great.
excitement.
Oh,
This is the
Mark
kind
is
of
so
excitement
hard.
that is. This is great. This is great. When people get
Well, like,
this
I
excited
dog
about
ear them.
books.
I dog ear them. I underline. Oh, it's bad for resale, but I love to like know where I have been in my books because I can remember. Oh yeah, there's a thing over here on the left. You know,
well,
you know your way.
most of my books were books that were like to buy, you'd have to spend like $500 or $1,000,
Ooh,
because
art
they're
books.
the books that I had are rare art books from some of my favorite painters and stuff like that.
Did
And-
you lose your art books?
No, I got rid of my art books because it's a long story.
Okay.
But
I'm surprised you said you got rid of them, but anyways.
well, it was a situation where that was the situation.
Yeah, it's a divvying of everything at the end. I bet.
So anyway, so I got
Would
rid
you
of.
do it all over again? Would you let go of the books?
If I had known what the end result would have been, I would have happily just let go of the woman.
Yeah.
I too believe in books before people, just to put that out there. I am absolutely, again, this totally explains why I'm still single, but I gotta put it out there.
You remind me of that Twilight Zone episode.
I'm sorry, this 50-cent comic way more valuable than you.
I could appreciate
This is a collectible.
Superman. You know,
Eventually, it'll get popular, even though it's an indie and it's only got 50 on print.
I could make
That's
that
even
argument.
Jen,
I could make that argument.
Jen, you remind me of Burgess. Was it Burgess Meredith in that Twilight Zone episode?
Oh, there's time now. There's time. Yes, yes, that is me.
Oh,
Yeah,
see.
that is me. Except I would make sure that I had glasses, backup glasses, contact lenses. I mean, the very first place that I would go basically is find, an optometrist's office to make sure that I have.
Does anybody wear contact lenses here?
I do.
Oh.
I do.
I'm
I
so
can't
crazy.
anymore.
No.
I'm so
I
crazy
just
about
have
my
reading
eyes.
glasses.
I'm so crazy about my eyes. I can never think that, like, they wanted me to do like to act in this like movie, like just a little part, but they wanted me to put these contact lenses that were like red, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Oh, I would.
No,
I
you
did.
couldn't do
try?
it because it felt nasty and icky on your eyes.
Yeah, and I'm really crazy about my eyes, and I was gonna try to do it, and it was like when I was trying to do it, I was like, oh, I can't do it. I was like, get somebody else. I'm
See, I've been wearing contact lenses though since I was like 13.
Yeah, like my
So
Oh, you had
it's
the
been
hard contacts.
a long time. No, actually, I started wearing contact lenses just when they were turning to the soft kind.
Mm.
So I've always had
Nobody
that,
knew.
but
Yeah.
I've always worn contact lenses. But as I get older, so it's like not always comfortable at night. So I have reading glasses too, and yeah. But
Or
that
they
is
used to be like hard, the contact lenses.
a long time ago. They used to have and then they had these things called gas permeable lenses. I guess at some point, I don't. That wasn't.
Remember that.
That was
Kids
before
don't
my
realize
time.
how lucky they are because
That's
some
before
of
my time.
our technology was so crappy compared to now. Like dial-up internet, for example. Does anybody remember
Oh,
dial-up internet?
I
Hey,
do. I was on
Does anybody
CompuServe and
remember wooden
Prodigy.
wheels? I mean, that was
Wooden.
bad.
That was really bad. You're right.
Wooden wheels? Like
Very
on roller
uncomfortable.
skates or something?
Oh, the first cars, the wheels were wooden.
Right.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I got better.
Oh, that would be a great punishment for like your kid if they're just making them use dial-up internet. That would be
No,
punishment.
Well, I started live streaming in dial-up.
It
Oh,
wouldn't be. It would be terrible. It would be a punishment for the parent because then they would have to. No.
That
would be terrible.
noise.
No.
I think that noise traumatizes all of us.
Remember those AOL CDs that used to come like every month?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my
When you used to
gosh,
want to
gosh.
chat in the Yahoo chat rooms, and then mom picks up the phone to call somebody, and you're like, "Mom, you cut me off."
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
This is stuff that children will never experience.
Oh, they're
I
so
actually met my very first grown up group of writers on the program called Prodigy, and
Oh, I remember.
it absolutely propelled my experience in writing in a totally different direction, and it was so easy to see why community was incredibly important. I mean, it was life changing. So yeah.
Have you ever seen this YouTube channel? It's called like Kids React or something.
Yes.
And to me,
It's funny.
some of the stuff doesn't seem like it's that old, but then when you see like young people trying to use a VCR and
When
they
they
have
hand them a tape deck, like a
my
Walkman, Sony Walkman,
they're like,
they
what
look at it like it's a foreign object.
I want to hear the other music. Why is it on this side?
Flip it over and fast forward, buddy.
oh,
That one doesn't have auto reverse. What the hell's auto reverse?
the one with the rotary phone? They had no idea how to use the rotary phone. Like they were like,
Oh, that was funny.
yeah. But then there's always that hip kid that's like, oh, I know about this.
I saw strange things.
My grandpa showed me. My grandpa showed me how to do this.
Cool.
It's like it's not that old. When you realize it's pretty old. I remember they had this one where they did one on music, and they were showing artists that I don't think of him as that old, but like Tupac, and they were like had no freaking clue who he was, and in my mind, it seemed like he didn't die that long ago, but it's been 20 something years, or getting close to it.
Yeah,
and it's just like, and oh my God, it makes me feel so freaking old when I see these kids that have no clue about things that were so big to us, and I remember I've told this story before that some years ago there was this young lady, she probably was 19 or so, and she was wearing I don't know if you guys remember Cross Colors, the Cross Colors outfits, right? It was big in what they call urban wear.
Oh.
And I was like, I saw this young lady wearing it, and I was like, it's from like the 90s, right? And I was like, oh, what are you doing wearing that? And she was like, I'm so obsessed with the 90s.
Yeah, my daughter is like that.
So, and she was like, wait a minute, you're from the 90s. What was it like?
What was it like?
like how like you might ask somebody
It's
about
like a time machine.
Like you might ask somebody about depression. And you're like, oh my God, did you go to a Nirvana concert? Did you see, I'm like, and I'm sitting there, she made me feel so freaking old. She's like asking me about the 90s like it was like 1920 or something.
My daughter goes to thrift shops and buys old lady sweaters.
Oh.
And thing is, when she wears them,
Uh-huh.
it's hip.
Right.
Like you would never just connect it to an old lady. And
Right.
it was some old lady's sweater.
Oh wow.
And then so when she comes here, she'll go through my mother's closet
Oh wow.
and she'll look at the sweaters and be like, can I have
And the
this
guy
one?"
was like, "Sure, take them on."
So, yeah, my mom's like, "You want my sweater?"
Mhm.
And so my mom's expecting her to get made fun of, and then she wears it, and she looks all cool and fashionista.
Oh, she also rocks the style too. Like she has
Totally.
her own style.
She's
with the
totally
pants.
into like old clothing, but she wears it differently. There's something about the way she wears it that's not the way an old person would wear it, I guess.
Yeah, she's
My-
got good style.
My kids were infants and toddlers in the 90s. Well, and whatever. So my kids grew up in the 90s, right?
Same.
And they look back on their childhood like everything is nostalgic. So even my Gen Z kid looks back at the 90s and goes, "Whoa."
It
That
just
is
doesn't seem like it was
so
that long.
old.
It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I guess it was.
doesn't.
Yeah, when you look at Madonna now
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
and Cyndi Lauper now,
Like I've always told this story. Like one time, when I first got out of high school, like maybe 5 years afterwards, I was driving down the street and I drove by a school, right? And these kids were coming out of the school, and in your mind, you just got out of high school, right? I mean, I only been barely out of high school, and I saw these kids coming out of school, and I'm sitting there looking at these kids and going, "Oh, this must be like a junior high." And then I realized, no, this is the high school. Like they look like
They got younger. It's weird. Yeah.
it's like babies, and in my mind at that age, I was thinking like, "Oh, I was just them, right? Like 2 seconds ago." But when I'm looking at them, they look like little babies coming out of the school, and that's when I started realizing I'm getting old. Getting older. I was still young then,
Yeah.
but I was like, "Damn, like, man, I'm starting to feel old." And then, and then I remember I was working on an art exhibit, and I was taking a break. This is when I hit 30, right? And so I was working at Southwest College, right? And so I'm sitting,
Kinte, what year did you work at Southwest?
I was 30, so I'm 44 now. So this was 14, 15 years ago, something like that. My dad used to run the gallery there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And
That's where I got my undergrad. That's what I was asking.
really? Okay.
cool.
Cool.
All right, yeah. So I was just working on this specific art exhibit, and so I'm sitting there, eating at a bench, and there was these two girls that went to the school. They probably were about 19, 20, something like that.
Mhm.
And I overhear their conversation because they talking loud. These two girls, and they were talking. So this one goes to the other girl. She goes, "Oh my God, this guy was hitting on me earlier." She's like, "Really?" She's like, "How old was he?" "I think he was like 30." And she said it with such disgust. And I was sitting there like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "Fuck you." She said it with such disgust. Like he was like 30. Like he was so old. And I had just hit 30. I was like, "Hey." And then they made it worse because then they did, "Oh no, not you. Oh, if you hit on me, it'd be different." I'm like,
When I was a teenager, I was dating college women, and I was dating 30-year-olds.
Mhm.
When I was 25, my girlfriend was 50.
"Oh shit."
And I, at the time, I never gave it any thought. Now I'm like, well, if we were still together, which we're not,
She'd be 75.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
When I
cougar action going on there, girl.
was in my 20s, I dated a lot
don't
of
get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure if I was like in love and all that type of stuff, I'd be like, "Oh, honey, you old, I don't care, whatever." But I mean,
No. I'm sorry. I call bullshit. I'm so sorry.
Great
no,
books.
no, no, no. No man ever does that. No, no, men, no. I'm so sorry, but that is so
No, she's
ridiculous.
right. She's
Men
right.
don't do that.
Wait, hold on. Men don't do what?
men trade in for a younger model every single time. There is no such thing as Connor
Oh,
McLeod from the
no,
Clan McLeod who's
no,
like,
no,
oh, but I
no,
love you. I
no.
love you.
Might be the
I'll
outliers.
stay with you
No.
until you die. No, they don't.
I
When
can
I-
tell you
they
from
don't.
my experience,
When I was
Bad stories.
it is the women who trade in.
wait. When I was-
Oh, give me a break, Carlos. It's so
Whatever.
fine.
Carlos, you're
Yeah.
older than me. I don't like get on your case because you're older.
Yeah, but we're talking about trading in. Like I was swapped out for a new model.
Oh.
when I was in my
I
20s,
said from my own experience. That's what I
dated
said.
a lot of older,
Okay.
I dated a lot of older women, and I ain't gonna lie. Like once Facebook came out, I saw some of the women that I dated when I was in my 20s, and they were a lot older, and they look like great grandmas now. So yeah, it's it
You know
wasn't.
what's crazy? I hate to put it in these terms, but I had seen one of the strippers that I had dated,
Mhm.
and then now they're born again,
Uh-huh.
family. I mean, it's wild.
Right.
And it's like you think you can stay in that weird existence of time, but it changes and people change, and it's wild.
No.
And it's
Yeah.
for the better. I'm not saying I'm not trying to put them down at all. Just
I also think that, and I mean, I was being a little disingenuous before, but I also think that there is a difference between being in a super committed relationship where you really have a lot of chemistry with somebody and being dating or just single and seeing how things are from the outside.
if you're dating, I can agree
It's-
with you on that. Sure.
It definitely looks really different. But I mean, please do not take any dating or relationship advice from me because I have
Because you'll trade in a person for a book.
I've had two divorces,
A comic book.
Exactly.
and I put comic books and graphic novels above anything. So yes, so there's that.
Excuse me, sir. I don't know if you realize this, but when we first started dating, I showed you my library card, and you're not in the shelves.
Oh.
Okay, so
That's
there
a good
are
one.
a couple of caveats for that. I mean, if the guy is like, never mind, I won't even go there. Hey,
Chris,
Kinte,
Oh,
how about that?
oh, this
Little
criteria.
written, maybe.
This criteria.
Show us
Oh, sir,
Chris-
are you a
Chris-
hardcover
Yeah.
or soft
Or
cover?
soft.
Listen,
Chris
if you
Hemsworth.
How many
if you wanna-
pages are you?
We're
if you
on
want
the
to
staple.
if you want to cosplay from my favorite novels, just ask me.
No,
Like, that
no,
would
Jen-
totally
Jen
do
has
it. That
two
would seal the deal.
Jen has two crushes. It's Chris Hemsworth and that creature from The Shape of Water.
Oh yes, the monster. Oh god, I would totally date that monster.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sea guy, the
Yeah,
really like
totally
that.
the sea
the
guy.
merman or
Yeah.
whatever he was.
Yeah, whatever he was. Yeah.
So
He's
would
from a
you
river
want
in
him
Amazon.
as the merman or
Yes.
Yeah, no. Kinte
You know you
just like
like that
or the
merman.
actor
just like-
underneath?
No,
Kinte
she likes
just
the
really
merman.
loves to tease me about that because I liked The Shape of Water and totally defended it, and he said that it was full on monster porn.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, I can agree with both because it was a great movie, but I agree it was monster porn.
Right. I'm just
Like-
oh,
The guy's balls had
It's a great
fins.
combo. It's a great combo.
That sounds
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
His balls had gills. I mean,
That's
come
not
on.
okay. That's
Yeah,
he
it
could
doesn't
breathe
seem
down there.
it doesn't seem like that would be very
shape.
yeah.
I'm just curious why you would remember that attention of detail, Carlos.
Oh, the movie was fantastic.
Art.
The movie was
but Kai,
incredibly acted. I mean,
you can't
there's
forget.
so much to that movie. It was incredible.
Wait a minute, you
Can't
would date
forget.
that?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, that's very specific.
So let's go back to Chris Hemsworth because that's actually the guy that I
He's number two.
That's the real guy. I would.
that's the real guy.
Chris Hemsworth's number two to them.
They're
Oh,
cute,
is-
but
is
they're
that
young.
right?
They're
Okay.
too young. I don't know.
Okay.
Going back, they're not right.
Who, Chris Hemsworth or the monster?
No, you like
Um,
the monster more, I think.
I like older, more
You like older
seasoned
guys?
people.
Older.
You know, I don't know
Like
people
Pierce
by
Brosnan.
name.
What?
So I just
Thor.
looked up who
It's Thor.
Chris Hemsworth. Yeah.
Thor.
Well, yeah.
Thor.
Yeah,
It's Thor. Did I say Thor?
Yeah, Thor. You said Thor.
It's that guy named Thor.
Yeah, it said like 9 times, so I think we're there.
His brother is that other guy that everybody wants to sleep with.
Yeah,
I
the other Hemsworth.
Liam.
I say anything
No,
Johnny
not
Depp is. I'm down.
I'm talking about Loki.
Oh, you're talking
because
about.
there is another Hemsworth. That's
You're talking
funny.
about Tom Hiddleston. You're not talking about Liam Hemsworth.
Tom looks entirely different as Loki. It's something about the dark hair. He might be an exception. He seems interesting. But I
say
don't date
anything.
him because
And
I'm
if someone
married
says,
and he's
I
young.
might do a young guy if it's Loki.
According to that logic, according to Kinte's logic, I would only like Loki if he was the alligator Loki.
Right. Yeah.
Like cutting somebody's arm off.
Yes.
Oh, you
They
guys
have an
haven't
alligator
seen,
Loki.
You guys haven't seen the Disney. I'm sorry, if you haven't seen the Disney series, there's an alligator Loki.
I saw the Disney series.
Are we talking about the cartoon, or are we talking about
no,
Loki?
no, the Loki.
Well, he's in the
series.
comics also, so yes,
I saw the Loki
we've seen the Loki
show.
in the Disney.
I get so much shit because I haven't seen hardly any of those cartoon movies.
No, it's not the
I say
cartoon movie.
anything-
It's a live action series.
I mean, no, I haven't
say
seen.
anything.
Like, I haven't seen Shrek. I've never
You
seen.
haven't-
Shrek. I've never
Oh.
seen. I've never seen Toy Story.
Seen too much of Shrek.
I've never
Wow.
seen none of the Harry Potters. The only one.
It's
The
clear
one-
that
I've
you
seen
don't
one
have
scene.
kids.
I've seen the one scene of the Harry Potters where they're on the brooms or whatever, and they're like swimming around or flying around in the brooms.
Swimming around. Yeah.
I saw that one scene at my brother's house, and that was it. So
I
I don't.
saw-
When they
When
were
people
playing
start
Quidditch.
talking about Dumbledore or whatever, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yes, it's
Same.
Dumbledore.
See, when you have kids, right? It's not like you really get a choice. If you want to stay relevant in your kids' lives, you read the Hunger Games, you read Harry Potter,
That's
you
lovely.
read
Why can't I-
everything.
Why can't I just show
Because-
my
I
You
didn't
read 50 Shades of Grey.
why can't I just show my kids?
No, that's Twilight fan fiction, and that's mom.
Carlos,
That's
you-
different.
Then you have the cookbook, 50 Shades of Chicken.
Carlos,
Look it up. It's a
Carlos.
thing.
Carlos,
Go ahead,
you're a
Kinte.
father, right? You're a father.
Say again?
You're a father. Can I just show my kids Scarface and Carlito's Way and
I'm sorry, those movies bored the hell out of me, so I'm not a fan.
really?
I say
you
anything
like
Johnny
Cartoon
Depp is in. Anything Johnny Depp
Donnie
is in.
Brasco. Can I show Donnie Brasco?
Donnie
Oh,
Brasco
yeah.
is pretty good. I'll give it to Johnny.
I'm with
It's
you.
a
I'm
kids
with you
movie,
on the
right?
Johnny Depp stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd rather
I like
watch John
them.
Wick than any
Get
of
out
the
of here,
Scarface.
Johnny Depp.
John Wick.
Can I?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
we're
talking about
waiting
the
for
mob
number
movies.
4.
I'm not
You know,
into
you know what's so funny too is when people say, "Oh, I couldn't watch John Wick because of the dog." You know,
Dogs are great.
the dog gets killed early in the movie, and they say, "Oh, I can't." Well, after that, I turn the movie off. I can't watch it. And I'm like, forget the 100 human beings he shot in the face afterwards.
You know, it's funny. My daughter, my younger daughter, when
Mhm.
she saw the dog scene, she did pause the movie and cry hysterically for at least an hour.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
Did you explain?
That's the second time I'd seen her do that. The first time was in The Walking Dead, when I forget his name now.
The one she liked.
The classic movie. No, not the classic movie. The classic scene now, where he gets bludgeoned to death. If does anyone watch The Walking Dead? The
Yeah, I
Asian
wa-
kid.
I do, but I don't
So-
remember the name.
So many
So the Asian
scenes
character,
like that,
there's this
though.
Asian character who is in the first
Oh,
episode.
Glenn.
Glenn.
Glenn, thank you.
Glenn.
He survived
Right.
everything for years in the series. He's the only one
And
that
then
wasn't like
Negan
getting
kills
replaced.
him.
Yes. And
Yeah.
no, what's interestingly enough, we lived only a hop, skip, and a jump from the sets. So we lived in Georgia where they shot all that stuff. But that scene, she went ballistic. She was just crying for hours. I mean,
Really?
oh my God.
Did you
Totally.
explain that
Those
they
are
didn't?
the-
Did
Yes,
you explain that they really didn't kill them or the dog?
Well, she knows because she knows
Oh.
that I've worked in film. She knows that we used to visit the sets all the time because they let you do that. So she got that, but
Oh.
she's attached to the story and the character,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and obviously she knows that the dog wasn't killed, but
Right.
just the visual, like she's a very special, like I love her heart,
Mhm.
and she's just
Oh,
those type of visuals are just not something that she'll.
I feel that way too, though. I mean, part of the reason that I still really enjoy books so much is because I get so attached to both the fictional world and those fictional characters. And when you make those kinds of emotional connections, it doesn't. I mean, I hate to say it because it makes it sound so silly, but it's like you treat them in your mind like they are real people. So when they die, it is physically like somebody is dying. It's not like just, oh, okay, well, I read it and it's a bunch of words and now it's done, or I've seen it on, played out for me in visual narrative and now it's done. You physically feel that emotional connection. And I think that you're right, though. There are certain people that resonate with that. I still can't watch Les Miserables. I mean, I love it so much, but the end, I cannot watch it anymore because I cry and cry and cry. And my kids will go, "What's wrong, Mom?" And
Can you watch Jesus Christ Superstar?
I can, but I'm not super attached to the character.
There's only one movie that I almost cried in, and that was this movie called Antoine Fisher. And Denzel Washington directed it, and he was in it. Where I don't know if you guys seen that movie. It's about this guy that went through a lot of challenging things when he was younger, and he meets his mother, and his mother's an addict, and then he finds out that he has all this family, and they throw an impromptu party for him, and it was so touching, and it almost got me. It almost got me.
You're hardcore. I cry in a ton of movies.
Same. I cried in The Heights when the grandma died. Oh
yeah, that's
throwing in the movie. No, just playing.
I cried watching.
I cry watching cartoons, so I'm not even going to add. Other than that,
Hallmark cards.
Is a cartoon. What was? It's the old man with the flying house. What's the name of that one?
Up.
Up. I don't know why I kept saying big in my head.
Oh, the intro scene to that?
That whole scene with the marriage, it was insane.
Gone. Yeah.
What Dreams May Come, Schindler's List.
Same.
I mean,
Life is Beautiful.
What's wrong with
it? List a ton of movies where I was just bawling.
I'm going to go eat. Have a good night.
You can always eat and bring it to the table. Like you can make food and come back. We've done that.
Kinte and I did a podcast once about the top 10 saddest movies. And our lists were super different, but all of them were it's clear that there are so many movies out there that are just, they're made to be sad. They're made to make us feel something, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's actually, that's a good thing. That's one of the things that sometimes we disconnect from so deeply. And when
that's them showing off their talent and their capability of doing that.
But don't you think that that's good? I mean, don't you think it's good for the audience to experience that range of emotion? Yeah, I do.
Because
that's the whole point of it. I mean, that that's literally the whole point of what they're trying to act into.
Yes, but I have actually seen productions where it's supposed to be sad and it doesn't feel sad. I mean, the idea feels sad, but you don't get the same depth.
Well, that's why they don't get Oscars. I mean, the ones that get Oscars per se, not all of them, of course.
No, I think you're saying like it teaches people because to tell you the truth, it's one thing to have a comedian. And there's one thing to have an actual movie that actually makes people see and understand people in other shoes. So it helps people to be much more smart when they think and to comment and talk.
The very best comedic actors can actually then switch and do drama, and they slay at that.
Yeah, but
because a lot of comedians come from pain. So the reason they're able to be so good is because they've been through some trauma themselves, and they harness.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, they harness their.
Robin Williams, for example.
Robin Williams.
But if they're joking. Right?
No. If they play it straight and do drama straight, they can dig deeper than some other people with ease.
If they're in a movie.
Robin Williams is probably the epitome of that. He, in so many of his movies, like I mentioned before, What Dreams May Come. What's the one where he's a teacher?
Well, Captain, My
Captain, right?
Dead Poet Society.
Thank
There you
you.
go.
Dead Poet Society, one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
he has the
Robert was
capability
the
or had
best.
the capability of literally living the emotional traumas that we were experiencing when
Good
watching
Will
him.
Hunting as well.
I mean, all his movies.
Yeah.
All of
The
them.
one where he's
Miss Doubtfire.
the movie where he's a doctor, and they had figured out that they
Patches.
Patch Adams.
Adams.
Patch Adams.
phenomenal movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great.
Or
And not just him. I mean,
Robot.
even Robert De Niro. I mean, phenomenal acting, phenomenal. They
Mhm.
draw you in. They become the character. All that type of
Mhm.
stuff. Even I would even go as far as saying Jim Carrey in some of his movies.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Just
definitely.
he's a master of just bringing you into the character and then slapping you upside the head with a tearjerker.
But it's
Mhm.
not always the actor. There is
Was
something.
the director as the director? It's the cinematography. I mean, it's
It's the
combination
It's
of all
the
those things.
director.
story. Wait, it's the
Well, of
story,
course, right.
Because I'm just saying this as a sort of
As a writer.
As a writer.
writer. Yes, exactly. The way that I see, and I know that I see this differently because I experience story a little bit differently. I think just because I went to when I went to New Paltz, I actually went to New Paltz for filmmaking. That was my major, right?
Oh wow.
Ooh.
But I see things. I can't watch a movie and not sort of see behind the screen a little bit because you know what's going into it. But
Yes.
the foundation to me is the story good? Because even if the acting is fantastic, if the story is just it
Right.
just doesn't quite work for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen movies get Oscars that I thought, what? Why? This is
Well, okay, hold
not
on. Now,
Oscar worthy.
like you can look at some Shakespeare, right? Great
Mhm.
story writing.
Yeah, he was okay.
It was okay.
Until
And
he shakes his right.
and you can watch the different actors, portraying it differently, different angles, different perspectives, different, same story. And someone will make you cry, same story, and others you just like, same story. So that's why I emphasize a lot. I mean, I'm going with the premise that the story is always going to be good if they're putting enough money in it, but it doesn't matter.
Depends on you.
It doesn't matter. It's the people who put it together so that you can visualize it and see it.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes the writing just sucks, right?
Midsummer Night's Dream was really good with the one with Kevin Kline as Bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But so I agree with you with the story. I'm just saying that there are times when some actors just can't pull it off, and you don't get absorbed in the character, while other actors can draw you in because of their ability to show their face that they're feeling it at that moment, and that's a very difficult thing to do. I used to be an art director, so I've never been an actor, but I mean, having been on sets, sometimes you can see the stuff that they go through before and during, and then after they shoot a
Right.
scene, just to kind of really get you drawn in.
Did you see the Dune movie that just came out?
Yes.
I did.
Was
How
it?
was it?
If you didn't read Dune, or you don't know
I haven't
what
read
the
it, but
story
I've
is,
heard good things about it over the years.
be careful because I think it is cinematically absolutely breathtaking. It is gorgeous.
Which
really
one?
gorgeous, the brand new one, the one that just
Okay.
came out. And the characters are it's like they stepped outside the book. I absolutely love the way that they portrayed them. It was just what I saw on the screen was exactly what I imagined when I read Dune like 20 years ago. It's just that vivid. But I will say that if you don't know the story of Dune and you just go to sit down and watch this movie, I feel like it is so it's immersive, but I don't know if you'd know what was really going on. I can see why people were like, wait, what? What's happening here? But if you know the story, wow, it is absolutely blow you away.
I had the opportunity to see the original Dune again, which I never liked. I always hated that movie. So I watched it again, and it helped with some insight on the story.
Right.
And then watching the new Dune, some of those holes were filled in a little bit,
Yeah.
and it allowed me to enjoy this movie better than the first one. The first one was just terrible. I mean, it was a comic book interpretation of the story, and all the characters were just like silly.
You know, there's a
You know,
sci-fi mini series. It's like I think 3 or 4 parts, and it actually does
Oh, Sci-Fi Channel.
much better.
Yes.
Yes, and it does a much better job of giving you a whole world immersion about what spice is, what the politics are, why this is so important,
Right.
and how there are really key aspects to spice that you just don't get if you just watch this movie, especially.
Yeah, they don't
Like,
elaborate
what
on
the heck is
spice.
spice? It doesn't
Right.
even matter. But it's like that's the core of everything. So yeah.
well,
Yes.
I, mean, I don't know, man. I think that if you know the story behind the first Dune, it really wasn't the director's fault. Who's one of my favorite directors, David Lynch. He got
Mm.
kind of screwed in that whole thing.
The first one?
Yeah, but I love this director. He's like one of my favorite directors. So I love this movie called Sicario that he did. That's amazing. That movie. Oh, I love
That's a
it.
sick movie.
Oh, I love that movie. And The Prisoners is another great movie. If you guys haven't seen that,
Oh, I love Prisoners. That is a good
freaking
movie. Yep.
so I can't wait to see Dune. But we'll see. For me, if
It is absolutely meant to be seen in the theater. If I can just break that in, it is absolutely meant to be seen in the theater, IMAX if possible.
Nice.
I guess I won't be seeing
Although it
it.
doesn't always keep the IMAX.
I know.
But
Ratio, yeah.
yeah, the main actor, the kid, he's a kid,
Timothy
and
Chalamet.
and they're supposed to be a kid, and so that's a good thing compared to the previous actor.
Kyle MacLachlan.
I agree. Dune in the Sci-Fi Channel series, it's a series, so they had the extra time to elaborate.
Right.
In that respect, that Dune City series from Sci-Fi Channel reminds me a little bit of what they're doing with Foundation, which is another series based on Isaac Asimov, which is on Apple TV Plus.
It's good too.
And you get to get into the depth of the politics, the civilizations, the different concepts, and all that stuff.
World building.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing they did well also in the Star Wars series Mandalorian, where we already kind of had the gist of things, but they were able to take that culture of, let's say, where we believe Boba Fett was part of, but the Mandalorian culture and all that type of stuff, they elaborated it very well and stuff, and we became fans. So when it's a series, they have more time. When it's a movie, of course, things get cut,
Right.
and it's hard to justify what gets cut because they have to make business decisions, and it sucks when it does that.
I'm just.
Justice League, perfect example of that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, listen, I am the fangirl who will totally sit through 6 hours of the extended cut. So anytime that they want to put out the Dune extended cut, I'm here for those 6 hours. I'm right here.
Nice. Like on Lord of the Rings, I have all 3 box sets, and each one of them has 2
extra
discs
hour,
of extra
yeah.
stuff. I love that. Mm-hmm.
So having worked in the industry, it's interesting because when you're working on the film, you're there for everything, and so you see all the scenes, right? And then when you get to the movie, and you're like, half the movie's gone. So what's interesting about the film industry is it's a business. And for whatever reason, they make business decisions and say, well, that has to be cut, oh, that might spark some excitement from the wrong people that we don't want to spark. There's all these decisions that are made that we're not aware of, and then we get what we get.
When the people were editing, when there was a small little movie called Book Club, and they actually the writer and the director, I think it was co-writers and director producer were husband wife, and so they worked on this movie for a long time, and they kind of crafted it for Diane Keaton, and they had like a dream cast, and they actually asked all the dream cast, who they, and they got who they wanted. And so when they saw Andy Garcia's work in the editing room, they knew it was going to be a good movie because they could see this spark thing happen that they weren't anticipating. Like they knew the writing was good, but to see him pull it off was like, ooh, yeah. If you watch the movie Book Club, it's like the scenes with him are just, they're good.
Excellent.
Yeah, we all know that the real power in Hollywood is actually the editors and the people that put everything together, right? That's the power. The power of story belongs to the editors. I totally understand that.
It's interesting. Like I know this ain't gonna be a popular opinion, but they had this new trailer for the Batman or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and
Whatever.
it looks. I mean, it looks like it might be good, but I'm like another Batman. Like
Mm-hmm. It's
another,
like Cinderella 50. Do we really have to do this again? Like we all know the
Well,
story. Do
I'm
something original.
tired of
Adam's
Batman. Right now.
family.
Let him take a break for
The
like.
Adams Family.
Let him take a break for
Well,
like.
Adam's Family, it could be done like the way they're doing it now seems a little bit different, like more cartoony or something. So
It's
that might work.
no, but it's with what's his name? Wow, what's his
Do we
name?
need
The
Twilight Boy?
voice.
Johnny
Do we-
Depp.
No.
Johnny Depp.
No.
I don't know. It's gonna be weird. I don't know. I'm
Guy
used
who
to the
got the
old
lead.
Adams Family. I would
Guzman.
never
Isn't it
change
Guzman?
that.
No,
I
it's
was,
Juan
Yeah,
Guzman.
Guzman.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just joking.
Guzman.
Okay.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
I'm
I
they're
was
like,
just joking
changing
'cause
it to
that
Johnny Depp.
I was
would
trying to
make
get
it
him to go
perfect.
live with me.
That would
Yeah,
totally
that'll
make it
happen.
I'm
But
like another
okay,
Batman.
but the Munsters have been done a lot too, and Rob Zombie is totally doing the Munsters over at
Oh,
Live.
Rob Zombie
Totally
should
watch that.
retire.
I
Rob
watch.
Zombie should retire.
No, he shouldn't.
I'm not a fan.
He should
Well,
just
I
keep
mean,
making his own
Godzilla's been
crazy
overdone.
horror.
Zombie.
Yeah, but
Wait a
how
minute.
many? Oh my gosh!
Wait, 1 minute.
But Godzilla, we
Godzilla's
will
different.
watch every Godzilla every single time.
Godzilla's
See,
different.
yeah.
Okay?
I
That's
haven't
terrible.
seen it yet, but it looks good.
Godzilla is the
Also-
people's champ.
Also, I mean, if you want to go back, okay, listen. You know what? King Arthur is a story, but damn, how
Oh,
many
Jesus.
times do we have to do King Arthur?
Robin,
No.
Robin Hood.
no, Robin Hood,
straight
no,
up.
Arthur.
That's a trope.
Oh my God.
Well, all right. So, in defense of the Batman stuff, there's some great Batman comic books.
Mhm.
How should I put it? In comic books, it's weird because there's the sequential storyline that occurs,
Mhm.
and then there's some writers who get a mini comic,
Yeah.
and they get the opportunity to develop a kind of a concentrated story, where they kind of get to flex their creativity a little bit, and it may stray away from canon,
But it's cool.
but
that-
you
that
read it and
fans
you're
are
like,
into it.
damn,
Yeah.
that was a good story.
Yeah.
And so that's part. So in the Batman series, there was the Dark Knight, which was horribly done, and it was thrown in combination with 3 other comic books, which they weren't supposed to be blended together. Like the Dark Knight comic should have been done on its own and done well, but they didn't. They just threw in the Death Suit Man, the Dark Knight series by Frank Miller, and a bunch of other stuff that looks really cool, Robert. And
Oh, right there.
and so all these comic book stories don't get their time of day. Then they did Year One. So Year One is a series of Batman that's supposed to demonstrate, we kind of know quickly how Batman became Batman and all that type of stuff.
Right.
But we never. But then they kind of jump forward towards, we already have the villains, we already have Batman, and now it's just the excitement and the battle scenes and all the craziness. The comic book that the comic book that they're following with Robert, Twilight Man.
Yeah, Robert Patterson.
Thank you. He
On the smart-
is based on the first year or two of him being Batman.
Yeah, he's
So
on a
he's-
spark as
So
well.
he's not the best yet. Like he's not totally developed. He's not great at it. His costumes are not like super high tech yet. I mean, there's this grungy feel to it, and so we're gonna see how well they do. They did that with the Joker. The Joker, we I never would have expected what not River Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix did with the
Joaquin.
Joker, and that movie was genius.
I
It
still
was.
gotta watch that one. That one it
Joaquin
seemed kind of
Phoenix is
dark
a great
for me,
actor.
so I've been waiting.
Say it again.
Joaquin Phoenix
Joaquin
is a great
Phoenix.
actor. He's a great actor.
Oh my God, the time that when he kind of went into that weirdness and went into talk shows as he was like this weird fucked up guy. That was him acting.
Yeah.
Now, why he did it, I don't know. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was stupid. But
Carlos, say Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Okay. All right, good.
Joaquin.
Continue.
I definitely am one of those people that I will watch origin stories. I'll watch backstories that from like minor plot points. I love further universe expansion, and sometimes that takes reinventing the main part of the story in order to get there. So I don't actually mind some of the reinvention of especially our superhero characters, because I feel like it just expands the universe so much, and not everybody identifies with every superhero in the iteration that they come out at that moment. So the 90s Batman is very different from any of the 2000 Batmans, and then fast forward to 2010, it just becomes a different idea. And each time, just like King Arthur, we tell the story, we tell it with whatever the slant and the experience we're having at the moment is. And that seems to pull in more people who then get excited about it and then expand the universe even further. That's exciting. I mean, that's creativity and artistic expression at its height, I think. And when we try to pull the world in and close it off and go, don't ever do that ever again, what we're really saying to artists is, hey, don't be creative.
No,
Stay
that's
in
not
your
what I'm saying.
lane.
I don't
I'm saying,
know.
I hate that.
I'm saying wait. Can we wait a while before we get another Batman? Like,
Well, they can't because all right. So here's the thing. So when I
Also,
started
there's
working,
the franchise that has to lose use.
right, exactly. That's what I mean. So here's the catch. When I started working in comic books, I worked for Marvel very briefly. In fact, nothing I ever did was published because Marvel went bankrupt when I started working for Marvel. And
good job, Carlos.
yes, I caused it.
Good job, Carlos.
My fault, like everything else. And so clearly what ended up happening and what's happening now is it's all business decisions. Now, people own these licenses, and there's stuff in the contracts that say, look, you don't use this license, we're taking it back.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have all these different iterations of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Now, what's interesting is the same thing was happening in the comic books, right? So they're like, look, if you're not doing anything with this story, we're just going to kill it.
Right.
And they're like, okay, we'll come up with some great stories. They had run out of so many ideas that they ended up wiping out entire universes in the comic books.
Oh, wow.
And then DC Comics did the same thing. So there was something called Secret Wars 2, which they'll probably do in the movie somehow. We're doing the multiverse right now on both sides. Both sides are doing the multiverse, thanks to the Flash, thanks to Loki, thanks to a bunch of other stuff that's occurred. And so we're going to see multiple Spider-Mans in one movie. We're going to see multiple Batmans in one movie. And we're like, and most people are like, what? And what people don't realize is that they did this in the comic books. This is actually, they're trying to follow the storyline of the comic books a little bit.
Sure.
Because they know that their audience, by the most part, are people who read those books and want to see them come to life. The X-Men has been horrible because only a couple of the movies followed the storylines.
Oh.
It's true.
Right?
X-Men has been terrible.
I like Days of Future Past, though. I thought that was pretty good.
But Days of Future Past followed a comic book.
Right.
What was it?
Days of Future Past.
Okay.
While the others really didn't. They don't know what the hell they were doing.
Even the original X-Men was just, wow, what a hot mess.
I never actually I like the one with Fassbender and I like that cast. The Fassbender.
I like the Wolverine
casting.
stuff. Yeah.
I like the casting. It's the whoever wrote them didn't know the comics.
Right.
It's like what happened with the Justice League. What happened? So Zack Snyder, unfortunately, the whole mess became a mess. They call it the Snyderverse because it's not the comic book verse, but he kind of was trying to create a scenario and situations and develop the characters better, which I think the Snyderverse version of the Justice League was phenomenal in comparison to the one that they released.
Right.
Even though the director of the one that they released is a great director for Marvel, but terrible for DC. It's just it's just bad business decision making. When it happens.
Because you think DC is trying to catch up to what Marvel's been about?
I don't know.
The thing
Like
is,
even
Marvel. The thing is, Marvel. Sorry, I
no,
didn't
go ahead.
mean to interrupt. The thing is, Marvel has done something better, I think, is maybe the best way to say it, with the writing especially, and being able to follow threads from the comics, things that stay more in canon. And they just tend to have better writers. DC went in such a different direction, and I'm not dissing the writers at DC. It's just that they had a different vision, and I don't think it connected with audiences the same way that Marvel did. And then there are these threads of canon that come out, and they come out brilliantly with Marvel instead of DC.
All right, now.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Much love. Nice seeing you. And nice meeting you, Jen.
Thanks. You too.
Bye. This was fun.
Well, just to cap it off, because I'm probably going to have to go too. There is, and I forget his name for whatever reason. I forgot his name. Marvel made a decision because of this one guy who's now the head of the movies of Marvel. And you see him in the Comic Cons when they introduced Yes, thank you. That is the reason. He is the reason why we got what we got with the Avengers. They never intended to have connecting storylines. He's the one that said, look, we got to do kind of what we used to do in the comic books when there was crossovers.
Right.
Who's the guy that said that? Because that's pretty brilliant.
What's his name, Kinte? I forget.
Kevin
Feige. So he's the executive. He's the one that said, we really need to connect them and build this grand, massive story. And if not for that decision, Marvel would not be as good as it is now. So he gets a lot of props.
And also Marvel hired James Gunn, so credit where credit's due.
You get James in.
Yeah, but James Gunn did. He did what? Guardians of the Galaxy, which great movies, but
they connect.
Sort of. Oh yeah, in itself, his movies are great.
I know. I was just giving a shout out to James Gunn just because I just have to have a huge crush on him and I love him. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay, very good.
Dang. No. Here's the thing. All right. I am a fan of like the Marvel movies are really cool, but I actually like the DC characters better.
In the movies or the TV series?
No, I'm just talking about just overall.
Oh,
I like Superman, Batman, the Joker, all of those guys better. I'll be honest with you, the Marvel characters, I'm just like if we're talking about movie, it's different. But just overall, I just like the characters. But I'm more like I like Batman. Like he's cool, and he's not so.
His coolness was like way after the creators even. They were terrible when they were first created, and Marvel slapped their asses like crazy because he's the first time they actually developed the characters. Like he gave them lives where DC didn't give them lives. They were terrible characters when they were first written, and it wasn't until years later that they realized Marvel's kicking their butts that they said they try to steal some of the writers from Marvel to make their main characters better. So and even then I'm like, hey, look, I love Superman, the movies and this and that, but he kind of is like the Hulk for me. Although the Hulk has there's an interesting dilemma with the Hulk. And what I mean by that is, okay, so you have a man that's impervious to everything. Like, technically, he could single-handedly stop all crime all around the world forever and become a dictator, which they did do in a video game. Um, and okay, after a while, it's like boring. So in the movies, they had to make him weaker. That's why in every movie it could be like, you know, the bald guy Lex Luthor with no powers, no technology, and he still kicks Superman's ass just because of a little kryptonite. And it's like, that's why they couldn't make that many great movies with Superman.
I agree.
Well,
I mean,
also because Henry Cavill makes a way better Witcher than a Superman, so there's that to consider.
well, no, I mean, I'm not even talking about the movies. Like Batman. I like Batman. Like Batman's cool. Like I'd take Batman over Iron Man.
Yeah, but okay, so the Batman movies that were done by what's his name?
Nolan.
Nolan. I hated them.
I love him.
I hated them because
Batman,
they had
Nolan?
nothing to do with Batman. They had nothing to do with the Batman universe. They had nothing to do with the Batman world. It's
They were pretty. They were just pretty.
they had they had nothing to do with the comic books, right? Like there's no comic book that was written about that storyline at all, in the least. He just said, "Look, I'm going to make him as humanistic as possible. I'm going to make this as down to earth as possible, and I'm going to give it a storyline with some of the characters that I saw in the comic books." Like he didn't even read the comic books. And then we got these storylines that were like, okay, and people enjoyed them because in itself, like the Joker, okay, cool. It's a guy in a costume, this and that. It's completely disconnected from the original storylines. And we got what we got. I mean, Michael Keaton blows away as a Batman anything that what's his name in the Nolan movies.
You think so?
I know so. Okay, you look at Michael Keaton, and granted, Tim Burton, very cartoonish, whatever. The acting, the reason they're bringing him back is because he's one of the only Batmans that when he was Bruce Wayne, he was Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was no Batman in him. But when you saw him as Batman, he was Batman. And the closest one to be able to do that has been Ben Affleck. Not to the extreme of Michael Keaton, but when he was he was the first one that shows himself as a detective,
right?
In the Chris Nolan versions of Batman, not Chris Nolan, in the Zack Snyder versions of Batman,
right?
Like he's thinking things through scientifically, reasonably. As a detective, he's trying to figure out. He went to find the crew. I mean, like all that stuff. Like he did things that you're like, that's something Batman would do. In none of the other movies would you say that's something Batman would do. Nothing. None of the movies.
But see, I don't read the comic books, so
see so even if you take the cartoons were better than any of the Batman movies.
I always hear that the cartoons are supposed to be.
Wow.
The cartoons in terms of story, I cried in some of the stories in the cartoon.
Oh, man.
If you ever get to watch the Batman with Mr. Freeze.
Oh, yeah.
And the storyline on that in the cartoon.
I remember that one.
Mind blowing. Like, and it wasn't even like a series. It was just an episode. And it's mind blowing. If they had an ounce of that in the movies, and the only thing I can give Ben Affleck is, the reason I'll probably vote for you more than Michael Keaton is you're built and you can move. And your fight sequences kicked everybody's ass. Like for me to see
Christian Bale?
No, he sucked. For me to see Daredevil, there's a scene in Daredevil in the Netflix series where he's in a garage and the lights go off and he's picking off all the gangsters. I was like, that's how Batman should be. That's Batman.
Oh, yeah.
And you never see that in the movies.
Oh, wow. Why is that, you think?
I think it has to do with the costume. The Val Kilmer had a hard time seeing in the Batman and moving around in the Batman costume because you couldn't see and you can't emote because like only your eyes are showing. So it was really hard for him to.
Well, not only that, but like the costume was poorly designed. I think the one that they're gonna have with this kid is a better built costume in terms of being able to turn your neck and stuff.
Yeah, Pattinson.
Yeah. but when what they should have done with the Batman costume is what they did with, let's say, the Spider-Man costume. What they did with the Iron Man costume is not have him wear the costume.
Well, okay.
You know,
I got,
Daredevil was good
Oh.
too, because I gotta say this because I also
The
am a
actor's
huge
fantastic.
fangirl of, yes, and also I'm a huge fangirl of the director for a lot of Daredevil, the guy Stephen DeKnight. There is something about the directing style in both Daredevil and Punisher too, which
Yeah.
has a very visceral kind of
Yes.
feel to it, which is different than just like, oh, crazy graphic violence. It is very personal.
Yes.
And you only get there by knowing what shots to really hone in on and make that character feel like they are super important to every to the integrity of the scene, I guess I should say it that way. Which is different from a lot of the action sequences that I see, even with Avengers and most of the Justice League stuff, which is, it's a lot of melee kind of feel, and there is a lot of real, crazy violence going on, and you know that these people are really powerful. But with Daredevil and Punisher, both Jessica Jones too, but Daredevil and Punisher kind of come to mind, it feels so personal, like we are experiencing just as much pain as these guys are on any given day, even knowing what they're doing. Like, we have this level of sort of empathy with them, which makes, even if we don't agree with what they're doing, we totally understand them. And that is so tied to both directorial style and writing style.
Didn't
Well,
they do that
that's
a little
also-
bit with Black Widow? Like, I think we got to know Black Widow a little bit more with her backstory and stuff in the
Yeah,
latest
I think Marvel's
movie.
really good with that type of development.
Yeah.
There's no Batman movie I've ever felt emotionally attached to Batman.
Hmm.
all right. Before we go, I have a question. Who's richer, Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne?
Black Panther.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my answer, because I was gonna let you answer one of those, and I was gonna say actually Black Panther.
Well,
Nice.
in the actual Marvel universe, Black Panther is technically richer than both.
Yeah.
Yep, that is true. He's
Well,
smart.
vibranium is definitely a commodity. I mean, come on. Man.
Oh, they in the new Black Panther movie, they're coming out with a vibranium vibrator. So make sure that you can.
All right, very good. So,
Yeah.
thank you everybody for
On
joining.
that
Wow, I
Make sure
don't
you
know.
get it.
I don't know anybody that actually needs that level, but okay. Yeah.
It's
Your stuff's
impervious.
got to
It'll
glow.
last longer than any female human ever.
Well, I finally found the picture I was looking for.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, just now. Just because
2
of
hours later.
just because of what it says on the trunk lid.
What does it say?
Oh, jeez.
I can't see it.
I can't see it either. It's too
It says
small.
one sweet ass.
Thank you.
Oh,
And I'm talking about the car, the back of
The car's that, yeah.
But of course.
And I did have one of those, so
Nice.
that's why I say that.
And if you guys are around tomorrow, we're going to be interviewing Michael Smallwood, who's in the movie Halloween Kills. It's going to be more so about his career and stuff. So even if you haven't seen the movie, don't worry about it.
That's cool.
So, all right. With that said, I'm about to go get some to eat. You guys have a beautiful rest of your night.
This is
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks,
This
guys.
is
Thanks
fun.
for inviting
Take
me.
care, man. Thanks a lot.
Love you,
Ciao,
Jen.
ciao.
love you too, bud. Talk to you
Take care,
soon.
Jen. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.